is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show. Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Offense to the heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, lollipop blow in the...
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Show on the radio, the top's where we gonna go, Miami, that's the way we roll.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
On the morning show, Big O, no one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk...
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Live and direct, because nobody do it better than Big O in the set from sunrise. Listen live.
When you're ready to purchase a new home or refinance the one you have, American Dream Lending will make sure your loan experience is easy with fast approvals and quick closings. With many loan programs and competitive rates, now is the time to turn your dreams into reality. Ask about special financing for veterans. They never charge an application fee and you will work directly with one of their experienced loan professionals. Stop dreaming and contact American Dream Lending today, 786-802-1727 or online at adreamlending.com. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Okay, let's see. How about now? There we go. We good now? We good now? We kosher? Wait a minute. No, you're muted now. You're muted now. Unmute yourself. Bring yourself aboard.
No, I was trying not to come on the screen because I'm not dressed for the screen, but you're muted as far as you sound garbled. Very cracky.
Very cracky. Ah, crap. Well, wait a minute. I'm on the Skype thing. No? All right, so wait a minute. Okay, now, tell me how we sound now. Does it sound in a little better now? Are we rocking? Because I kind of went out and went back in. How's it sounding now? Still sounds bad? No? Down. Okay. All right. Well, then let's do this. Okay? Give me a minute. Sean, you fill in. Let me restart everything, and maybe it just gets going again. But now I got to remember all the things that I wanted to share with you guys.
All right. Good morning, guys. Looks like we have a couple technical difficulties. So I'm going to jump on with you guys, and we'll just get things started with the chat. It is trade deadline day, so we'll see if Watson is a Dolphin by the end of today, and we'll see if Tua goes anywhere or any other moves from the Dolphins. Let's see here. Muted audio. Yeah, yep. We're working on that. Let's see. Good morning, Big O. Maria. Morning, Big O. Fins Nation. I've been out with family emergency the last 3 weeks. Now I'm back in the mix, trying to get my Dolphins fixed again, even in the losing streak. Fins up. All right, good to have you back on with us here. Let's see. Nathan, the Watson trade isn't going to happen until he's cleared or teams know his fate. Too much risk. I'll be glad after 4 today. I think a lot of us, Nathan, will be glad that 4 o'clock hits today. Looks like Gus was the first in. At least that's what I'm showing. Let's see here. Fan club weekend is only 3 days away. Worldwide Dolphin clubs, Fins for life. That's Mark Norcal over there. Rich V, looks like you're talking with Nathan. I do hope X and Parker get traded today and we get a tackle opposite Liam and trade for San Fran receiver Brandon Ayuk. He's young, underutilized, and reliable health-wise. I guess we can hope, Rich. I mean, again, I do hope that I don't know what you get for Parker, but X, I think we might be able to get something for. Hopefully he hasn't diminished his value too much. And for those just tuning in right now, will be on. He's having some technical difficulties. He's restarting his computer. And Thomas Jensen, the man, the myth, the legend, the Big S show. No, it definitely is the Big O show. But Dolphins should have got Von Miller. Ron, I agree. I don't know for what they got him for. What was it, 2-2s or something like that too? It doesn't seem. Sean, would you fire Greer and Flo at this point? Ray, I would just get rid of everybody, honestly. What do you got to lose? I mean, just put Stephen Ross down there on the sideline and see what happens. I mean, honestly, when you look at it, we looked at it yesterday. It's a lot to do with coaching. I mean, look, every player, like says over and over, can't be this bad. We watched some of these guys last year. They weren't this bad. I think they lost a lot of veteran leadership. I think they're in a hole right now, and there's no veteran leadership or veteran coaches or anything veteran on this team to get them out of it. And that's the one thing that I think is missing as far as with the Dolphins. Can we trade Stephen Ross? That's TJ Superman 13. Nope, I don't think so. I do believe that, as O has pointed out, I'm going to try to bring O in here, and let's see if we got it fixed.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Sounds better now? We good? We good in the hood? All right. Welcome aboard. Man, the power was out for us all night last night. And I apologize for yesterday. We had 6 different power surges. The internet did not come back. And so obviously it screwed me over. I didn't even do the show with Doug, but it was actually a blessing in disguise because Douglas Durong and myself, we will be doing our show on Wednesday. Why? I told him, hey, let's wait till the trading deadline today and then find out what happens. And then we'll react after that the next day. And he loved the idea because, I mean, really, all we were going to do yesterday was really the dolphin crying towel that we got to do every day here. So it's just one of those deals, you know what I mean? But I appreciate all of you, as always, out there for keeping it locked on a beautiful Tuesday. Not because we're depressed about the Dolphins, but because we love the fact that Crow is moving big time in crypto. If you're into Polkadot, moving up. I told you guys about CKB yesterday. It's already up 4%. I didn't really expect it to start climbing yet. I expected to climb maybe a couple months down the line, but it's pretty amazing that it's already started to climb up 4%. So if you already got in on the CKB with me, don't tell me when that thing's at double, triple, quadruple, and then I told you about it earlier. So, it's like Engine Coin. Engine Coin's over $3. I was telling you about Engine Coin when it was, down into the 90 cents and $1 and $1.20. I was telling you, get on Engine Coin, get on Engine Coin, get on Engine Coin. And it's up. Cody up to 64. V-Chain, baby, climbing up to 14 cents now. It looks like it's now starting to take that trajectory because V-Chain was up at 24 cents. So it's going to start climbing back. So it's a beautiful, beautiful crypto morning, baby, for those of us that, of course, are enjoying the crypto love that's out there. Saw that Bitcoin started climbing big time. By the way, and just because my man Michael Morrison, who claims to be the gringo of all the gringo that leads all the Cubans in Hialeah, because he's one of the few gringos left in Hialeah. But it's nice to see Bitcoin up to 63%, 63,000, almost 64 to 63,800. But he asked me today, and I told you the story yesterday about a friend of mine and Decentraland, and I'll explain it again really quick. But some of you out there are invested in Cardano like I am. Now, remember, in crypto, you have your parabolic rises, right? When there's a parabolic rise, there's going to be a drop back, a consolidation. And so when it comes back, it's going to consolidate. And then that's when you wait for it to come back in when it finds another floor again. Because you never want to buy on a parabolic rise. So Cardano seems to do this. And Cardano was stuck between the 93 cent area and 103, 105 for a while, for a couple months. Then it shot up to about 140, 150, then it went right back down to about 120. And it sat in the 117, 120, 124 range for a couple of months. See, some of you that are just into Cardano, you didn't experience this. And then it went up all the way to $2 and something, but then it tracked back down and it went to the 140, 150 range, and it hung out there for a couple of months. Then it shot back up over $2, and now it's been stuck around the 190s to the $2, $203, 203, 204, right around there. And so some of you are asking me, hey, what's going on with Cardano? This is what happens. Okay, it rises, it consolidates, then it rises again. But you have to hang in there. Okay, I believe Cardano will be around $5 to $7 by the close of these 2 months. By the time January starts, I believe, I'm not a financial advisor, no, I'm not a crypto expert or whatever, but I think it'll be around 5 to 7. But you have to have a lot of patience. It's like my buddy that got into Decentraland, and he got it around the, I think it was like the 75, 80 cent mark or something. And it consolidated and it stayed in that area, in the 90 cent area, 80 cent, 79, around there, was going up and down. He got frustrated and sold. And now Decentraland's at $3. And now he tells me, oh, I regret selling. And that's because he didn't have patience. And if you don't have patience, don't get into crypto. If you don't have balls or guts or brass sets, don't get into crypto. Okay? Because if you don't have guts, you're going to listen to a lot of bullshit that's out there and you're going to fall for it. And that's the problem. And if you don't have patience, you're going to lose a lot of money, like my friend did. And so that happens. So you must stay the course. You don't panic. If you're involved in a great coin or company, in other words, and there's a dip, you don't panic and sell. What you do is you buy more. That's what you do. And if you can't buy more, then you stay. Or another tip for you in crypto, I don't like you buying anything on a parabolic run. I never do it because you always get burned and it comes down, right? If you happen to buy something on a parabolic run, stay with it and hang on. Like the people that bought Bitcoin at 55 and 54 and 53,000 and 58,000, the last time it went up to 64 a couple months ago. And then they sold it at 28 or 30 or 35 and lost their ass. But the people that are smart and strong, they bought at 28, 30, 34, and now it's back up to 60 something. So now they're making money on the money that they were losing when they bought it at 54 and 53 and whatever months ago. You see what I'm saying? Because they stayed the course. Instead of panicking when it went down, it was an opportunity, not a time to get out. That's the difference. That's the mindset you have to have. If you don't have that tough mindset, you will lose a lot of money in crypto. So don't get into crypto unless you're willing to do that. I'm just telling you. So Lee, if you're listening, patience with Cardano, it will rise. Don't worry. Okay. All right. Chiefs just traded for Melvin Ingram. Good for them. There you go. Deshaun Watson is not coming, and Herbert lost to Mac Jones. Well, Herbert must suck now, right? Right now, I mean, it's, Herbert sucks now, right? Because he loses to Tua and he loses to Mac Jones. So he sucks. Right? I mean, that's just the way it goes. Let's see. Big O, Sports Grill, Bird Road tonight, Heat game wings, and the beer and Dolphins talk. Well, we'll be there on Sunday. We'll be at the Bird Road location. Nyborg says, oh, Sheba, will you take me to the moon? Uncle Ruckus says, Big O, I hope the Dolphins trade Tua to the Saints so I can laugh for another 20 years at this organization. We would get laughed at. We would get laughed at because that coach will definitely lead them to the right direction. That's for sure. And I mean, listen, what's going on with the Dolphins is just it's sad. We're at a point where it's just sad. That's all we can say now. It's just sad. It's sad that we all have to suffer through this crap over and over and over and over again. It's like it never ends, dude. You know? That's the problem. It's like it never ends. And there's always something, to bring us down. And now we've got this whole situation. And listen, I never thought the Watson trade would happen. Maybe it does, and maybe I'm wrong. Won't be the first time, that I'll be wrong. I've been wrong plenty of other times, but to me, you got to be a absolute moron to try to make that trade right now when you don't know where he stands. And that's why, come on, man. You gotta stand and listen. You look at this situation right now for the Miami Dolphins. They're in the driver's seat. He's only waived his the idiot has only waived his no trade clause for the Dolphins. So I don't know what it is, but he loves to come to the Dolphins. He wants to come to the Dolphins. And I know some people are out there like, whoa, you may have to pay more. Maybe not. Maybe you don't have to pay that much because he's not going to give them a lot of options. And they're going to want to get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? So, if you're the Dolphins, I don't think there's this hurry. He's not going to save your season now. You don't want to play him now anyways, because behind this offensive line, he's going to get killed. Nobody survives behind this offensive line. It's a miracle Tua can even make a pass behind this stupid line. It's ridiculous. And you know what? I don't blame these players, man. I don't. I'm telling you. And you know what I'm hearing now? More and more, I think more and more people are realizing that the coaching for the Miami Dolphins is so remedial. I'm telling you, I think Pat Surtain at American Heritage has a better coaching staff than the Miami Dolphins do. I mean, that's the kind of joke it is now at this point. You got crap coaching. There's no way your players are going to succeed with crap coaching. I've had some people, reach out to me and say, well, you're saying coaching doesn't make that much of a difference. If you have the talent, then so make up your mind. So is the talent there or not? Or is it the coaching? Or neither one? But coaching does make a difference. Don't tell me that it doesn't. Because on this same team right here, they had a guy named George Wilson. So go look at George Wilson's last year and his record, and then go look at Shula when he took over the following year. Go look at Del Harris with the Lakers and Shaq and Kobe, and then go look at Phil Jackson taking over right after. Go look at Jim Mora, playoffs, and then the next year with Tony Dungy. Don't effing tell me that coaching doesn't make a difference. What are you, out of your mind? How many coaches are going to get 31-10 out of scrubs like Spo? Because Spo's a badass coach. That's coaching. When you could get a bunch of journeyman scrubs to go 31-10, that's coaching. I mean, Spo was so good with those guys in that second half, it suckered Riley into signing them into contracts. That's how good Spo made them look. Please don't tell me coaching doesn't make a difference. I got examples up the yin-yang over the history of sports that you watch one coach take over for another and you see the damn difference. Please. Come on, man. So that's the problem right now. It's a terrible, terrible team. Brian Baldinger, who does it every week, and please, speaking of videos, go see Kurt Warner's video on Tua Tagovailoa, because I think it's well worth it. And Baldy in in this uh in this what's it called, video, and let me bring it up for you here. He's talking a little bit about the Gesicki play, and the Gesicki play where it actually hits him, the snap. You know what I'm talking about? So here's Baldy describing the play. Okay. Let me see how we got the screen here. All right, good. We got it. We got it good there. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, let's do that. Good. Sean's always the best, dude. He just gets it. All right. So now we get to enlarge and listen to Brian Baldinger explain this stuff with Gesicki.
Sadly, this play on 3rd and 5, right before the end of the first half. The Dolphins defense keeping them in the game at 3-3. This defines the 7-game collapse of the Dolphins right here. Gesicki in motion. 3rd and 5, trying to get points before the half. The center doesn't know that Gesicki's in motion. The ball gets kicked around. It's a blooper reel. I mean, that's just what it has become. And Micah Hyde recovers it. And almost sadly, it doesn't look like anybody in the Dolphins really wants to make a tackle on Micah Hyde. Micah Hyde's just trying to probably run out the half, get in the locker room, tied 3-3. Like nobody's really going after him. Nobody on the sideline seems like too really particularly interested. I mean, that just defines the first half of this season. After that 1-point victory week 1 against the Patriots.
Sad, man. Sad. I mean, and embarrassing too, to another extreme. That's the other thing. It's just embarrassing. Then we've got the screenplay that he describes. And in the screenplay, all right, so let me bring that up now on the screenplay. Here we go. Let's bring that up. Let's enlarge it for you. And watch this.
I'll just leave this for you Dolphin fans out there. It's 3rd and 20. Part of the reason why they're 3rd and 20 is the offensive line has a block to protect Tua. So they're just trying to run a screen there on 3rd and 20. All right? Going to run a screen away to Gaskin. That's all it is. What would make you turn Ed Oliver loose? Like, why would you turn? It's only a 4-man rush. Why would you turn him loose where all Tua can do is just dump that ball? They can't execute a simple screen. I mean, it's just a hot mess up front. Nobody seems to know what to do or how to fix it.
And by the way, I want you to look at this. Look,
going to run a screen away.
Watch this. Watch this.
Run a screen
snap. Look at this.
Going to run a screen away.
Snap, and it's 3 steps. Look at the defender right on his ass.
Like, why would you turn? It's only a 4-man rush.
This is what he's got blocking in front of him.
Where all Tua can do is just dump that ball. They can't even execute a simple screen. I mean, it's just a hot mess.
That's a screenplay. Some of you idiots want a 40-yard play. My man can't wait for a screen to effing develop. You want me to play it again? Screen and snap. Here we go. Ready?
All right. Going to run a screen away to Gaskin. That's all it is.
The guy can't throw a screen without having somebody on his ass.
Like, why would you turn? It's only a 4-man rush. Why would you turn him?
Okay. Guy can't throw a screen without having somebody on his ass. So that's the problem right there with the Miami Dolphins. That's coaching, dude. That's coaching. These players, all of these players cannot be this bad. We're going to talk to Ira at the bottom of the hour, but that's why when I mentioned coaching, I mentioned Spo. Because Spo has shown us coaching veterans, coaching young players, coaching journeymen. He's coached everything. And everybody gets better in his staff. Unless you're, Whiteside. And having said all that, that bum played his best basketball here. So I can't say that the Dolphins are playing their best football under this staff. They're playing the worst football I have ever seen. I've been covering the Dolphins for 31 years. Following them a lot longer, obviously. But 31 years in this business. I've never seen a worse coaching staff. What Brian Flores put together is embarrassing. And they have become an embarrassment to everyone else. And I'm talking about all of us as a Dolphin Nation. Because, hey, you got to put up with your buddies, right? You got to put up with your coworkers, right? And they're fans of other teams, and they're looking at our team going, yo, what's up with your guys, dude? 1-7. And that's frustrating for Dolphin fans, that they never get the moment to really, feel like the Miami Heat fans do, feel like Panther fans feel right now. I mean, they never get that feeling. It's you don't deserve it. You just don't deserve it. So we've got one hell of a day today because the trading deadline is at 4 o'clock. The good thing is we do have the Heat tonight. So that is good. They're at Dallas, 7:30. It's a TNT game. So everybody gets to see the number 2 team in the power rankings, which is pretty cool to see that Miami is getting that kind of love. Although I will say the Mavs are 3-0 at home. So, hey, now Porzingis is questionable with the back. He's missed the last 3 games. Max Kleber is out with the back. The good news was Strus, by the way, the MRI was negative. So he's only going to miss a couple of weeks. We don't know how long. We'll see. And also Bam went through practice. So it looks like he's going to be a go tonight. So it looks like I am going to be doing something. Sean, I don't know if you know this. Did you hear about the Hard Rock? Huh, Sean? Do you know what the Hard Rock did? Game on, Florida. Yeah, baby. Hey, have you got a phone right now? You can put it up to this thing right here, and you can download the app right now. You can do it on your screen right now. Those of you that are on YouTube, I'm going to give you a minute. Grab your phone, take a picture of that, or you don't have to take a picture. Just put your camera up and put it there if you want to download the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sports Gambling app. And I'm going to make my first bet tonight. I am going to lay the 2.5 for the Heat against Dallas. Okay? They're going to suffer their first home defeat. The Heat will win by about 6 or 7 points. They'll play some D, and I'm going to bet it right there on my Hard Rock app. Sean, do me a favor. Do it with your phone. Go on that app. See if it does pop up. Because I'm telling people they can do. I figure because it's on a screen from one screen to another, I would imagine you should be able to download the app. I can already see Ira Winderman downloading the app. Not that he's going to bet, because he. Does it work for all of you out there? Have you tried it? Does it work? No, it doesn't? Oh, well. All right. Well, go to the website. Check it out. You can get your app. Game on, baby. The Hard Rock Sportsbook app is on. You can go to the website. You know what I should do? I should put this on our Twitter page. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to share the link for you guys on the Twitter page so you guys can find it right away. Go to our Twitter page at Big O Show. Julius 305 says, yes, it works, Big O. So, Sean, I think it's you and your broken down Android and stuff. You know what, Sean? Now that you're with me every day, I'm going to do everything in my power to get your ass on an iPhone and get you a real phone, not that Android garbage. God. All right, let's take a break. When we come back on the other side, Ira Winderman is going to join us, baby, for our Acura of Florida. That's the Twitter page, at Acura Florida. But it is the Pembroke Pines Acura Miami Heat and NBA report with the great Ira Winderman. That is next.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All righty, welcome aboard, Ira. I see you got the app. You're ready to go.
You know, it's interesting, because there's some not so legal apps out there also, and I think what's going to happen is people are going to start to line shop. So I know you just already put your bet in for the Heat tonight, but I think now stock people know this is arbitrage. You can go to a bunch of places now, and until there's a real alignment, a lot of these are offshore, pseudo legal or not. And you could probably line shop for the first time ever in Florida. As you know, plenty of people go to Vegas. I see it all the time. And they have all the hotel apps lined up, and they look for the price, and they look for the line, and they look for the spread, the over, the unders that they want. And there even are times you can really arbitrage the over unders, and you can actually get a lower over, a higher under, and you can middle it and win both ways also. So stay tuned. I think when O moves beyond the crypto Fed and gets into hardcore gambling, because that's where the money will be in media. It's going to be flooding the market. So I know right now I'm only on 3 times a week. I'm on twice with the Accurate Pembroke Pines Report, one with Pallet Rack City, Inside the Paint. I think we find a gambling sponsor and I can go 5 for 5. So we'll be fine. Because I got to tell you, once they get going, these gambling apps, they are going to be flooding our airwaves. They're going to be flooding the web, the internet, and everywhere. That's where the money is. And so many of my friends have left mainstream sports journalism to work for these apps and work for these companies. This is the future. All kidding aside, just like crypto, you have to be ahead of the game to be in the game. And I think that's where this is all going. Pretty soon, whether I want to or not, I'll have to write about gambling. And I got to tell you, I'm sorry to delay your questions here. I actually spoke to a bunch of players, and I asked them this question. What if your team was favored by 8? And you had the ball in your possession, and you were up 7 with the final shot? Would you hold the ball traditionally, or would you shoot the shot knowing everyone in the building has a bet on you guys giving the 8 points? And the guys were really honest. And, they said they know it's changed. Right now in Washington, in the arena, there's a sports book. You're going to see this a lot more, of course, with the apps. Everyone's live at the game.
But that's not crossing their mind in the fourth quarter of that. They're so tired and worn out. I doubt that crosses their mind.
You know what? It might not. But what if the fans start cheering? What if they get a sense of, wait a minute, we're up by 7. We've just beaten a really good so-and-so team. What are they cheering for? And it was one of the answers I had was really interesting. Goran Dragic spoke to me about this, and you know this, because you're a big soccer fan. You know about the aggregate. And he was saying if the NBA made point differential a tiebreaker, it would encourage you to play every possession, because at the end of the season, total point differential might be a tiebreaker. So all of a sudden, you're not playing to the gamblers, and you're instead playing to maybe that tiebreaker that's number 3, like last year with the Heat and the Knicks and the Hawks. So all of a sudden, it becomes a lot more legitimate. And I spoke to Udonis Haslem about it. And this was a game where he was at the foul line at the end of a game, I think, in Philly, and they were going to get free Chick-fil-A or something like that. And so he made both free throws. You know the promotion. If you miss one, Heat do it with Pollo Tropical. And UD says, yeah, you ain't getting your damn chicken. So these guys are more aware of this stuff than you think.
Yeah, well, at the free throw line like that, and they're screaming at him, then I kind of, it comes to mind. The other thing that I was thinking of when you were bringing up that question is maybe a player also says, hell no, I've shot 8 of 11 tonight. I'm not ruining my shooting percentage, bro. Plus, it helps in my stats and all that stuff. So there might be a little selfishness.
But there's gonna
now, if you're 3 of 10, maybe you do want to get that shot off.
We saw that in the Bills game. I mean, whether you thought that the Bills were being a bunch of asses or not at the end of the game and what they did, that was awfully close, Big O, to the line there. The line was 15, 15 and a half, 14 and a half, depending on where you bet it. So I think there's a little bit more consciousness than you think. I would put it this way, not this season, but I would bet you in a typical Dolphins season, probably 75% of the fans have some skin in the game, whether it's a bet, whether it's the over-under, or, of course, as you know, whether it's fantasy and what are their fantasy players. So don't kid yourself. People might love their sports, but they also love their money. And I think this is changing the equation.
Oh, no doubt about it. Yeah. And look at you. You even brought up like crypto, like you got to be ahead of the game and all that. So you're So you're understanding that it is a real thing, right? You're not one of those people. You're not one of those people that think it's like a Ponzi scheme or something.
And that's why I'm on the web right now, and I'm on podcasts, because that terrestrial radio thing, I don't need to drive to see where the antenna is going to be good or not. And unlike Sean, if you have an iPhone, you can pick it up in your car anywhere.
Right, exactly. Yes. I don't know if Sean's phone picks up anything at this point.
Well, no, again, when Sean's using the BlackBerry and he has to flip the phone up and type in the numbers, it's going to be a little bit different of a deal. So, yeah, I think the last time I saw Sean's phone was when I was watching Breaking Bad on a throwback or something and saw another flip phone.
Yeah, exactly. He has a razor still at this point. All right, but at one point those razors were cool, Sean. So
everything was cool at one time, sure.
You were cool at one point with that razor. I just want you to know that.
Hey, hair was cool at one point. Then I caught on with the trend.
There you go. Exactly. I guess we got lucky with Struce, man. I got a little nervous.
You know, there's lucky, there's luckier, there's luckiest. And you got luckiest that it's not an ACL and he's done for the year. I think you didn't get luckier because 2 weeks is still 2 weeks. You'd have 2 rough road trips coming up. You know, I've spoken to you about it. I'm going to have to sort of alter the schedule. A little brutal West Coast trip next week. You're talking about playing in order the Nuggets, the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Jazz. That's tough to be missing anyone with. Then you go out for a full week on the road, Thanksgiving week also. So it's going to be tough. 2 weeks is a long time in the NBA. And here's the tougher part of it, and I'll throw this at you. I mentioned this at sunsentinel.com. The Heat has had a wonderful 9-man rotation. But player 10 has been a question all year. And so now Eric Spoelstra has to choose for player 10. Well, it's interesting. He has to choose between a bunch of players. So he goes to us, well, I still have trust, and I like this player also, and Caleb Martin.
Dude, I loved his game the other night.
Yes,
wow,
so he mentions we have Caleb Martin and we have Gabe Vincent. And I even double-checked with the Miami Herald beat writer Anthony Chang. And I said, did I hear that quote right, that he didn't mention KZ Okpala? Because, when you think about it, the player who might sort of match Max's game with the threes, to a degree also, have that height to play up in a forward position would be KZ, and yet Eric didn't mention his name. And I thought that was really, really telling. There's only 3 other playable players on this team. You're not going to play Omer Yurtseven anywhere but at center. You can't play Victor Oladipo. And now we know that Udonis Haslem has played his 1 game for the season. So you basically have your 3 players to choose from. Gabe Vincent's too small to replace Max Strus. If you do that, it means Tyler Hero's playing more forward, Duncan Robinson or Jimmy Butler is playing more in the front court. I thought that was really telling. If there was ever KZ time, I thought this will be the moment. And when we come back tomorrow with Clay Ferraro on our Pallet Rack City inside the paint, it'll be curious to see if KZ gets a sniff. Because if you don't get a sniff now, then when?
No, but all right, he hasn't earned the sniff, obviously.
Right. But sometimes injuries, you don't earn it. You just get it because it's the natural progression.
Yeah, but they don't have a tendency of doing that on this franchise.
You have to earn it.
Right, exactly. And since we've been watching since the summer, the Caleb Martin kid is the one guy that keeps showing us a little some every time he gets, an opportunity. And I think that's what they want to see. And unfortunately, it's been all about KZ's hype, not the reality of it.
And the contract. That he came in on a 3-year guaranteed $4 million contract. No questions asked. We're going to develop this guy. And you wait and you wait. And the injuries and the personal time and the time off, and it's not there. And and I think you'll agree with this. You spoke about this in your previous segment also. This is go time for the Heat. They're not pussyfooting around. They're not saying we got an 82-game schedule. If we lose this one, it's okay, and we'll take this one off. Look at Saturday. Bam Adebayo was out. It would have been easy to capitulate on the second night of a back-to-back against a grit and grind, young and hungry Memphis Grizzlies team when you're starting Dwayne Dedmon, who got in early foul trouble. And this team said, screw it. We'll just hit some threes. We'll get it going another way. This is not a Heat team like some other teams in long season sports that are going to say, okay, schedule a loss here. Okay, we have the Clippers on the second night of a back-to-back, schedule a loss. They don't play that game, and it's really refreshing that if you buy a Miami Heat ticket or like tonight with you, invest in watching a Heat game, you'll know that they're going to give you their best effort.
Yeah, I was so impressed with that the other night also. Because no Bam, and they played they didn't play like a like a veteran team that had played the night before. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, their
I
whole
was
thing is
I
their
was
whole thing is
super
screw it.
impressed.
Yeah, it's just screw it. We're playing basketball. It's more fun to win than not. You can't tell the dogs that they have. You can't tell Kyle Lowry not to play to win,
Right.
Jimmy Butler not to
Exactly.
play to win. PJ Tucker. They're going to be screw that. That even if the coach goes, guys, we're going to see how the first half goes, and then we're going to play it from there. They're like, screw that. We're going to beat their butts in the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter. We're going to force UD off the bench in the fourth quarter. That's how they're playing.
Yeah, and by the way, it was nice to see Duncan also start heating up too.
You knew he would. We have too much
Yeah,
of a sample
of course.
size. It's
He's
not
too
like
good.
when you draft the college shooter and you're saying, can this guy wind up being a player or something? Guy has the sample size. He's given us 2 full years of quality three-point shooting. It's who he is. And also, he never lost what they call his gravity. The opposition defense was still guarding him second by second, tracking him the entire court, opening the lane for Jimmy Butler, opening the post for Bam Adebayo when he was playing. So he's done his job all season, even when he hasn't hit his shots.
Ira, how's a guy like Dedmon just sitting out there in free agency with no work? When I watch him play, is it that the Heat know how to use him the right way? Why would he even be available?
Well,
Because
he had an ankle
looks-
injury and he was rehabbing down here. So a bunch of teams are
Yeah.
like, well, I don't know if we want to take a chance on an injury guy. Also, this is the classic case, Big O, of putting players in a box. He's a quote-unquote classic center in a league that doesn't have classic centers anymore. But the good coaches, you mentioned Coach Flo, and you mentioned use of personnel, and maybe the right use of Jalen Waddle and things like that. Eric Spoelstra sees a player and finds a way to maximize who he is. So where others might have said, hey, Dwayne Dedmon, we can't work a big lumbering guy like that. That doesn't work anymore. Eric Spoelstra said, okay, big lumbering guy, rebounds, block shots. I can use him for A, B, and C and use him that way. That's the difference is you have to look at, you can't put your personnel in a box. You have to design your box for your personnel.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. To me, it's just pretty awesome to see how he contributes. And I was thinking about you on Saturday night because you made an excellent point, like you usually do on the show, when you started talking about each position and saying, okay, well, it may not be the perfect, like you're not replacing the person, but it's a good fill-in. And you mentioned Dedmon for Bam.
Yes, every
sure
spot
enough,
has a fill-in but point guard. That's been my concern all season. When Lowry's out, the game does change. There's still room. You could also sub out Marcus Garrett for another two-way player. So Andy Ellisberg's work is not done, or Adam Simons and Pat Riley's and Eric Amsler in the front office. They're still looking. They're still looking to cook up something more, hopefully avoid the tax. But also, I think, when you realize how good it could be, that's when you take the next step. That's when everyone thought this NFL trading deadline for the Dolphins would be shoring up a good thing already instead of salvaging the Titanic. So it's a little different. The NBA is going to look at their personnel as how can we make good better.
Tonight, what do you know about the Mavs and how they're playing right now? Because it's not like they're sporting a great record, but they have been pretty good at home. They're not a good defensive team. The task tonight, outside of slowing down Doncic, of course.
I'm not a big fan of Jason Kidd's coaching, whether it was in Brooklyn or then Milwaukee. I think he's a guy who sells himself. What's the classic term? He wins the interview. I think he's very good at interviewing for jobs. I think he wins over front offices like, hey, you're Jason Kidd. We'll bring you in. So I think there's some question marks there. I think they downgraded coaching from Rick Carlisle to Jason Kidd, even though they felt they needed a change. Maxi Kleba is out today. They're shorthanded on the front line. I'm really curious about the Dogs and how they defend Luka Doncic. And what I like about this Heat defensive team is they could put PJ Tucker on him. They could put Bam Adebayo on him for stretches. They could put Jimmy Butler on him. So I don't think it's going to be one guy having to go all out to stop Luka. I think Luka's going to see a bunch of different looks. I think it's going to take player B on the Mavericks. I think it's going to take a Tim Hardaway Jr. It's going to take someone else to beat the Heat as well as Luka Doncic.
He has a tendency he has a tendency of shooting well against the Heat. Hardaway.
Yes, he does. He does. Especially at what was American Airlines Arena, now FTX, where his father's banner hangs up there. So he tends to be a little better against the Heat of Miami, but he's had big nights. I think it'll be someone else besides Luka. You know this. So this goes back to Lynn Sanity. Before that, the Heat love a singular challenge. And you saw it Saturday against John Morant, where
Right,
like
exactly.
John Morant's leading the league in scoring. He's going to kill the Heat, and the Heat are like, screw it, he's not going to kill the Heat. And I think you'll see that against Luka tonight. The Heat are really good, and Eric Spoelstra, when it's not a back-to-back, and he's had 2 days off, and he can game plan, and he does game plan. I'm really fascinated to see what they do against Luka tonight.
And you know what I like about this team? At least I'm hoping that this is part of their characteristic. They're getting a little love now. You know, they got that number 2 ranking in the power rankings and all that because it's a veteran-laden team. If they were young, like maybe the Bubble Boys, maybe got a little bit big-headed, these guys will not, and they will handle the successes and the compliments a little better, and they'll realize, yeah, it's November. That doesn't mean jack.
And Eric Spoelstra said as much at practice yesterday, and we were there at the American Airlines Center. He says, we're working on getting better. We don't get a lot of practice days. We're going to maximize it. We have to get better. Where other people might see highlights, Eric Spoelstra still sees flaws, and there are flaws there. And he's going to work on that because they're working towards something bigger and something better. There's real cohesion. That 3-on-3 after practice when Jimmy was in there going 1-on-1 against Omar Yurtsevin in that game. These guys, it doesn't matter what it is. These guys are so competitive, it's almost scary.
I like it. You like them tonight? You think they'll get it done tonight?
I do like him tonight because of what you mentioned in your previous segment about Coach Flo. I like the coaching matchup. I'll take Eric Spoelstra 9 days out of 8 when it comes to coaching against Jason Kidd, and I think that can make a difference. I think Eric really has outcoached the competition to this part. I know he downplays that. He says, hey, outcoach is not the right word. You don't know our strategies. You don't know our player limitations. I understand all that. But he's had a really good start to the season. This roster fits Eric Spoelstra, and Eric Spoelstra fits this roster.
And by the way, I couldn't agree more with you on the downgrade because for me, Pops, Spo, and Carlisle are the 3 best coaches in the NBA. At least in my book. You know what I mean?
I have him right up there. And it's funny because the hot name last
Carlisle.
year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
And remember last year, the hot name was, Brad Stevens is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Yeah. And then Brad Stevens wasn't so good. And then Ime Udoka's coming in. The Celtics are having their problems there. So, yeah, the coaching boy wonders who come in have to understand the NBA is a real grind. And you have to prove it and prove it and then prove it again.
Is the Celtic thing, I hate to keep you again. I know you got to go. But
no, take your time.
Is the Celtic thing that's going on with them right now, because you know how we talk about the dogs on this team, they have talent, but are they dogs? But are they dogs?
Yeah.
Are they, you know what I mean? Like, that's where I will give Marcus Smart this.
I love Marcus
He is
Smart.
a dog. He can get nasty and dirty, and maybe that's why he opened up his mouth a little bit because of what's going on. But I don't know if they have a lot of guys like Marcus Smart that are wired his way. Whereas the Miami, like I bet Marcus Smart looks at the Miami Heat and goes, man, I'd love to play with those guys.
I've always said for years, he's a quintessential Heat player. Didn't quite have the shot you need to join their 3-point shooting, but he's there. Again, when does the point in the career of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum come when the next win is more important than the next basket? And right now, that's what they're going through. I thought they were talented before when they had Hayward. I think they're talented now when they add a glue guy like an Al Horford and a Dennis Schroeder, but it hasn't worked together. And if you're bickering 2 weeks in, there's a lot more weeks to go than that. It'll be interesting. They're up next. The Heat's up next on their schedule. The Heat play them on Thursday at FTX Arena. So you almost hate to get a team in the middle of controversy like that because they're going to come out a little bit hungrier. But right now, they are very disjointed.
The Portland kid, Lillard, does he stay there? Does he
love him and love what he said? And if your listeners get a chance later after the Big O show to read his comments, he says, I'm a Portland guy. I'm here with you. You know what he's done? He's done the anti-Deshaun Watson. He said, hey, I don't want to be traded, but if management is going to do something and make a trade, I can deal with that, but I'm not going to force anyone's hands. And I think that's important, Big O, is that he says, don't put this on me. If it reaches the point now where our record is such and management says we've got to retool and they move me and they work with me, that's on them. I'm not quitting on my fans. It really is special. It's nice to see. I think he also can say that now because it's more likely they'll have to trade him.
Right,
and then he's not the bad guy. And he'll put together a lovely letter in the Portland Oregonian and he'll thank the fans and he'll move on. Man, if the Sixers can get him, though, for Ben Simmons, all of a sudden the Sixers, going up and down. It's sort of like your Bitcoin was for a few months there, and then it came back up. It'll totally
Look at
revive
you, crypto reference and all. Wow. Damn, that's strong. And by the way, with Lillard, it becomes a Ray Bork situation, right? Like,
No. But Ray Bork was at the very end of his career and was
I know,
hanging on when he went to the Avalanche to get the title. Damian Lillard, I'd say, has 5 quality years left.
But you don't want to. You know that where you're at, you're going to ruin those quality years for him. So he's done so much for you.
Right, but I think the difference is he's not the guy who goes to a team and gets a ring, as a second or third line kind of player.
No,
he's going to go to a team as a leading man. It's funny. Eric Spoelstra's 51st birthday yesterday, and he says 51's the new 40. I think Damian Lillard, like 32, is the new 25 with all the training techniques and the charter travel and everything in the NBA. Whoever gets Damian Lillard's going to get a all-star player for years to come.
Oh, wait a minute. He wants to be known as a rapper. No, hold on a second.
All-star rapper. All-star player / rapper.
There we go. Now, see, now you're in his good graces.
Hip hopster.
But just in case, when you meet him the next time and you got to interview him, you say, Mr. Rapper, I'd like to ask
Mr. Dollar. Mr. Dollar, I say.
Whoa, yeah. You do that, and there you go. He might give you some Bitcoin for that. That's nice right there. All right, I like it. Ira, what are you working on in the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out?
I just posted a story. Bam Adebayo fessed up and said, yeah, I forced UD into the game on Saturday. I wanted him to get his minutes, but I wasn't happy because he got one more rebound, and I'm still chasing his all-time rebounding title, so he laughed about that. In that story is a little quirk about the NBA. Andy Ellisberg, the GM, told us yesterday here in Dallas that the Heat's two-way players, even though each two-way player can appear in up to 50 games on the active roster, if you're not at the NBA maximum of 15 standard players, they can only play a combined 90 games instead of 100. Players Association put that in so teams wouldn't play two ways instead of standard guys. So that gets a little interesting. In that same notebook, I have something about how the odds on Tyler Hero for sixth man award have gone like from 60-1 to 15-1 down to 6-1 as now the favorite over Jordan Clarkson. So like you said, it's not only the media outlets noting the Heat in their power rankings, it's the wise guy. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of curious when you get back to the next segment or going forward, I'm curious if the Seminoles also are giving propositions that we know they're giving game lines. We know they're giving over-unders. But it would be interesting that for the first time when I publish these odds from these offshore books like I did for Bet Online, which is somewhere in the Caribbean, that now you might for the first time be able to play these kind of propositions legally and at home. And then you can go to FTX Arena and yell directly at Tyler Hero, hey, buddy, I got money on you. You got to come through tonight.
Well, they've got futures. The Heat are at plus 1,500 for the finals winner. Brooklyn is plus 240.
Yeah, so, and I think eventually the propositions, if the individual propositions come into play also, I'm curious about that because then that opens a whole new thing. And even when I watch, say, like the Knicks broadcast.
By the way, Tyler Hero is your favorite for sixth man of the year.
See, there you go.
Plus 260.
Right.
Jordan Clarkson is plus 850.
Yeah. So
what a drop from 260 to 850.
So that's great. So again, there's going to be a different kind of fan at games this season because of things like that. And why not? And it'll work at the arena. And as long as you're in the state of Florida, just like when you go to other states, you can use their app. A lot of people in New York cross the bridge so they can bet legally in Jersey at the sportsbook there by the Meadowlands or by their apps. So this really is a game changer. I expect a whole new spectrum of advertisers on the Big O show come next week.
Yes, games, team futures, awards, and player futures. Now, remember, this app started yesterday.
Right.
So they're going to add more.
Yes, and you might even get single game over-unders. You might get Tyler Hero 14 points, Tyler Hero 18 points, so you can sort of bet the spectrum. It creates interest. You know this, for years the NFL said, gambling's terrible. It's the worst thing in the world. Gambling kept the NFL alive until fantasy came along. Now fantasy is keeping the NFL alive. The amount of people with Red Zone who actually watch a game.
Do you know the fights I had with Greg Reed, Duff Lindsay, and Josh Darrow? And we're talking, we're talking 25 years ago when I'm trying to tell them this fantasy thing is going to be huge.
Right.
It's like, I need to talk fantasy. And they're like, no, we don't narrowcast here. We broadcast. That's the line they were using.
And now, now that is broadcasting. And gambling is going to be broadcasting. And game line is going to be broadcasting. And as I leave you on this, and the worst thing for me is this: the pretend concerned fan who constantly DMs me and emails me, is Bam playing today? I'm worried about Bam. How's Bam's health? You couldn't give a rat's butt about Bam's health. You want to know how it's going to impact the line. And unfortunately, that's going to get a lot worse. So I might have to begin my own tout service here for a little extra fee on the Big O Plus service we're going to start pretty soon.
All right, so Heat favored by 2.5. You're going Heat.
I would go Heat tonight.
Over and under 210.5. I kind of like the under here. I don't know.
Yeah,
why.
I was going to say because I think their focus is not going to be outscoring, but rather shutting down Luka Doncic.
Yep, and then the plus minus Heat are minus 130 on the money line. Dallas is plus 110 on the money line. Actually, that's not minus 130 for the Heat is not too bad.
No, it's not. But the line is so low that I probably would rather play it that way.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the 2.5 for sure.
If I was, which I'm not.
No, of course not. I mean, it's not like I saw you, download the app.
It's not like I have my cell phone here right in front of me. No, it's not at all.
Exactly.
And on that, I'm out of here. I will catch you tomorrow. I'm going to start about 10 minutes early, about 8:50.
Yes,
Pallet Rock City Inside the Paint. So it'll be me and Clay. We'll review the game. We'll talk about the Strus injury, and then I'll run to the airport. So I will be on the road a lot. Hopefully, literally, the future of the Big O Show is going to depend on hotel Wi-Fi in coming weeks. So we shall see.
It's all right. Digital's a beautiful thing. We will adjust, my friend.
Hey, it worked for one day, or else I'm on the phone. So thank you, Big O.
All good. Thank you, Ira. Appreciate you. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. That is our Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All righty. It's a beautiful thing. Love it. By the way, I was going to tell you guys, just in case, because I know my man can't get it, but you know what? I'll help you guys again here. So just in case, if you want to download the app, here you go. Scan this with your phone, as long as you don't have a phone from 1997 like Sean Stanley has. You should be able to grab the app. By the way, let me test it out on my phone, okay? Because I might as well do it, even though I have the app already. Yeah, it works. Of course it works. It does work. So if you put your phone right on this thing, you'll be able to download the app for the Hard Rock Sportsbook. And you can do your own betting on the Heat. There you go. I wonder if I should lay a couple bucks on Tyler. He just inspired me with that. I love it. C. Dola says, Big O, I don't understand why Flores refuses to make any changes during the losing streak. Is he really that stubborn? C. Dola, at this point, dude, I can't explain anything that man does. I don't recognize him at all from the guy I saw the first 2 years. I'm speechless, dude. I am speechless when it comes to the Miami Dolphins. I really am. I don't know what to tell you anymore. They are a pathetic team right now. They're an embarrassment to every fan on the planet. All of our Dolphin fans in New York, in Atlanta, in California, in Malaysia, in Canada, in Mexico, in Portugal, and in the Bahamas, wherever you're watching this show, wherever you follow the Dolphins from, because we've got people all over the world, Dolphin fans everywhere, you have all been disrespected by this team and let down over and over and over again now for over 20 years. And I cannot explain what's going on here at all. This coaching staff, as I've been saying for several weeks now, it is the worst, not just in the NFL, in the history of the Miami Dolphins. I have never seen a more inept staff than Coach Flo and his staff. There's one thing, look, maybe he can be a good coach if he's surrounded by veteran coaches. But I know one thing now for sure that I'm convinced about with Flo, he can't build a staff. And that can't be argued. I can't argue that point. I can't find it. It's 3 years in. The man has made all kinds of changes, and people aren't sticking around. And it just seems like it's you know what? It seems like it's more volatile being under floors than it is in crypto. Let's put it that way. Okay? That's what it seems like. So are you guys downloading the app? Is everything good? Does anybody need more time? Do I take it down? What's the deal? All right, scan it here if you want to get, just in case if you're just tuning in, this is the Hard Rock Sportsbook app. So if you want to make your bets, I'm sure you all want to bet on the Dolphins, and you want to lay all that cash on the Dolphins. Although I got to tell you, the Heat and the Panthers are going to be fun to bet on this year. Craig Miller says, what's the odds of Mike Gesicki following Tua to where he gets traded? Rare, because they would have to trade him to the same spot. So I doubt that would happen. Big O, who do you think the Dolphins trade today? I'm praying X gets traded today. That's all. I mean, what, Devontae Parker for a slice of cheese? Whatever, if you can get Devontae Parker out for a 6th rounder or 5th rounder, go ahead. It's not like you can't trade Preston Williams and Albert Wilson. Those things are untradeable. Byron Jones might be the other one that I would trade. If I can unload any of the corners, look, folks, we're not on the road for a championship. This isn't the season that we thought would get the team closer to it. So now you have distanced yourself from it, right? So now you've done that, X is not going to be here when you're good. So because now you're a couple years back now. Now you have set yourself back again, even if you have a shot at being good down the line. Okay, so now you've set yourself back. Why keep Byron Jones or X-Men around? Now, their salaries are going to be a pain in the ass to move at this point because the team has to have the kind of cap space. Right now, Miami does have, what the Broncos did yesterday, Miami could do because they have the cap space. So they could take some hits down the line if they want to take the picks. So I don't know if you guys know this, but Von Miller was traded yesterday to the Rams. Now, the Rams traded back a 2nd and 3rd rounder in the 2022 draft, but the $9.75 million salary that was left on Von Miller's, table, well, the Denver Broncos are going to pick up $9 million of it. So the Rams only have to pay $750,000 because it's $9,750,000 is what he makes this year, or what's left on his salary. So the Rams will only have to pay $750,000 for the rest of the year for Von Miller, which is a terrific move on their part. But they did give up a 2nd and 3rd rounder, so they have even less picks next year in the draft. But Denver basically is paying $9 million for a 2nd and 3rd round pick. So could the Dolphins do something along those lines, where they pay a portion of X's salary, they pay a portion of Byron Jones' salary to then also bring in the picks? That could be something that they could do. So look for that in a kind of trade, because that's something that the Cleveland Browns started several years ago for the Osweiler deal, that they took in Osweiler, but that's because they gave him a 2nd round pick to take on the Osweiler salary. So this could be part of that, where the Dolphins pay some of the salary, but they're going to get the compensation in picks in return for Jones or X. That would be a move I would make. Okay? So, but let's not get ridiculous now and start mentioning players that really are untradeable. You know what I mean? Like some dude yesterday well, we should trade Preston Williams. I'm like, I didn't even answer because it was just like, if you bring that up to me and I have to come back to tell you, dude, nobody's trading for Preston Williams. He's a sack of injuries and he's dropping passes left and right. What's wrong with you? You know what I mean? It's like, so why am I even going to bother with somebody that way? You know what I mean? It's like, I can't, if they're even thinking this, it's almost like you have no hope. All right, I'm going to take it down now. Okay, no more gambling app for you guys. Do I take it down? Anybody need it for another second? Tell me on the chat line. Remember, you guys can also donate to the program at Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Let's do this. Let's take a really quick break for hour number 2 right here on the Big O Radio Show.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show. Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Offense to the heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Friday Pablo in the...
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Show O's on the radio, the top's where we gonna go, Miami, that's the way we roll.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Hour number 2 on the program. Thank you all for tuning in as always. and keeping it locked. Sean Stanley, executive producer of this program. Ruthie Polinsky will be joining us at some time this hour. So hopefully we will. I think it's set for the bottom of the hour. So we will try to see if we can get in contact with her then. She was going to join us yesterday until we had the technical snafus. Manny Navarro, the legend, will be joining us at 12:30. Our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. Watching that Baldy video, you can see this more than Tua being a problem. The O-line is awful, and the team looks like they've given up on this fails on Flo. His decision making killed the team this year. That's what I'm trying to, I get it, bro. I'm the cheerleader for Chris Greer. I get it. I'll get the pom-poms on. I got one back there and, whatever, all that good stuff. I just have a hard time believing that all these players are bad. I'm sorry. I believe this is the worst coaching staff I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry. Some guy puts in here and he says, Steven Caparella, thank you, Steven. He says, Kirk Kuntz, Miami assistant DB, hired out of Struthers High School in Ohio with Greer's blessing. Well, of course. Belichick's dad went there, and Kurt also worked for Josh McDaniels. LOL. So that's what we're talking about. When you got to go to high school to get a coach, dude, then you have no depth at getting a coach. And that's, this is kind of the issue with young coaches. You somehow or another, your young coach has to have assistants that are, veterans that can help them out. And as great as Shula was, he had some of the best assistants all the time. It's not like Shula did it by himself. You know what I'm saying? So he had guys that were with him, from Amani Clark to a Mel Phillips to a Mike Westhoff, whatever. He had, creme de la creme coaches. It wasn't like Shula did everything by himself because he couldn't. You had to have some good coaches on the staff with you, dude. Arnsparger is considered like one of the greatest defensive minds ever. Mike Ditka won his Super Bowl in Chicago. He never won anything else again. He never had Buddy Ryan again. Bill Parcells never won without Belichick. As good as you are as a coach, you still have to have the assistants around you that make you that great coach that you are, because part of being a great coach is finding other coaches that have the same philosophical ways of doing things, but they're also successful. And it takes the burden away from you of having to worry about the DBs because your DB coach can't do it, or worry about the O-line because the O-line coach can't do it. You cannot work that way as a head coach. Just doesn't work. When for the short time that we were doing onside radio, okay, I tried to surround myself with people that I could delegate to and not have to worry about everything. That's why Sean was with me. These are the things. Tito Benash, I had people around me that I know that when I don't have to worry about this anymore. Now I have to worry about something else instead. But if I have to worry about every facet of the business, or in his case, every position, then you're done. There's no way you'll survive as a head coach. You need help, man. You got to have people that can actually do the job around you. And he does not have one guy, not one coach. Think about that. He doesn't have one decent coach. Not good, not great, decent. All his coaches are mediocre or terrible. I mean, when you can't execute a screenplay like Baldy was saying, that's embarrassing. This team is not that bad. I'm sorry. I am going to disagree till the end of time with that. And watch. I'm going to keep track of these players, not just here, but where they move on to. And I'm going to watch them excel away from these coaches. That's what's going to end up happening. Not all of them, because you never hit on all. But there's going to be a lot of the other players that are currently on this roster that I bet you are going to go out to have good careers, and maybe even some of them are going to have great careers. And you're going to go, wow, they didn't look like that here. Wes Welker did not look as good as he did in New England than he did here, right? Because they didn't know how to use him here. That's just the way it is. And this has happened other times too with other players. And you just wonder, like, what the hell is going on? And at this point, I know that this team is way better than what it's showing right now. This is not a 1-7 team. This is a 1-7 team because you have an absolutely pathetic coaching staff. You have a coaching staff that at the end of the year, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be demanding that they fire the entire coaching staff. I don't know if Chris Greer can fire him. I don't know if he wants to fire him, but if he doesn't fire him, it'll get Chris Greer fired also. That's what it's looking like to me. So if he wants to tie himself to this guy, then you're going to go down with him. That's basically, it looks to me like this is an inflexible human being. This is a guy that it's my way or the highway. This is another one of these Belichick disciples that thinks he's Belichick without the hardware. And that's the problem. And that was Matt Patricia with the stupid bird's nest in his face and a pencil in his ear and going up there to the podium in a jumpsuit and trying to tell a reporter how to sit up straight when he dresses like a slob. It's Josh McDaniels thinking that he's the greatest since the slice of bread, and he's the second coming. This is the same shit we've seen with a lot of the other coaches that have come off that tree. And they come off with this attitude like, I'm Belichick, and you're not Belichick. So don't act like Belichick. Be humble. And it seems to me like I don't know if Flores can be humbled. I don't know if he knows even that word. Because at 1-7, if he isn't humbled by now, if he hasn't sat back and if he, I hope Brian Flores has stood in front of the mirror and gone, this is all my fault, dude. I have screwed this team up. I have not given any of these players any chance to succeed. It's basically your Dolphin players are living in a crack den. That's the analogy I'll give you. They're living in a crack den, and mom and dad are crack addicts. And mom and dad are in no way, shape, or form in any kind of way should they be parents. Should they be leading any kind of kids? You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say that Flo and company are crack addicts, but what I'm saying is it's comparable. Okay? It's comparable. It's comparable to two irresponsible parents with 3 or 4 kids that are running around barefoot, barely go to school, and don't know anything because the 2 parents are a disaster. And then you grab remember Trading Places? The Dolphins are Eddie Murphy in Trading Places. You don't get the breaks. You don't have the education. You don't have the support. You end up on the street. You're begging for money. You have no skills. Somebody brings you in, cultures you, educates you, loves you, supports you, gives you the foundation. You become successful because you had it in you, but unfortunately your environment didn't give it to you. That's what's going on, and that's what I see with this Miami Dolphins team. I believe all these players would be better. Would they all be stars? No. Would they win more? Hell yeah. Would we be happy with way more players if you had a real coaching staff? Hells to the yeah. And this is why you got to be careful, very careful, because if you allow David Carr to continue to take a beating every year and every year and every year and every year, eventually he will lose his confidence and he will never become Derek Carr. Comprende, compadre? So you better get this coaching staff straightened out before you ruin the future of all these players. They've already had a taste for a little over a year, or for this calendar year, I'm sorry, of terrible coaching. And it could ruin their careers and ruin the team. It already has ruined the team in the season. You don't want to ruin all the careers. I'm not telling you they're all successful. You're going to have some failures in there, but there's a lot more success stories in there. But they're not going to succeed inside a crack house with a crack mom and dad. That's my analogy, and I'm sticking to it. 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. Hire Bill Cowher. Come on, man. Let's go. Let's just, do you guys just throw stuff up to just say stupid things? Come on, man. Let's just, let's get into, reality. Saban knew how to coach. He coached with Belichick with the Browns back when they had a coaching staff. I don't know what that means. Carr is from my city. Oh, what, Fresno? Right? Is that Fresno? Because is that where they're at? Is it Fresno? Not sure. 3 main responsibilities of a head coach are organize, motivate, and make in-game decisions. Brother, Flo has not met any responsibility whatsoever that he has, except he's shown up to get a check, steal a check. Let's see. Look at McDermott. He is young, but has a veteran coaching staff. Yeah, it's just terrible, man. To see what's going on with the Dolphins, it's unacceptable. So we got the trading deadline today at 4:00. What happens? Does the Deshaun Watson mess rear its ugly head here, and does he get traded to the Miami Dolphins is the question. Let me pull up some stuff here to make sure there's nothing out there outside of the Steelers trading Melvin Ingram to the Chiefs for a 6th-round pick. Let's see. What else? Odell Beckham Sr. posts video putting blame for his son's lack of production on Baker Mayfield. That's going to be a tough decision for them because Baker's all right, but I don't know if I'd pay him like elite money. I got to say. But, I mean, Odell Beckham, give me a break, dude. Odell Beckham. No, now we see where Odell Beckham gets the acting like a punk routine when you got Senior out there doing stupid ass stuff too. Big O, are you going to Metallica on Thursday? No, Kevin. I will be at Metallica in Atlanta on Saturday. Okay? Yes, Saturday. All right. I get Cage the Elephant, Greta Van Fleet, and Metallica. I believe it's only Metallica here, right? If I'm correct. Let's see if I am correct. I think I am. Do they have a good opening act down here? And you know what? I got the, man, I think it's like $120 I paid for the round trip ticket to go to Atlanta. Nothing. It's pretty cheap. Let me see the tour dates here. And boy, and I'm sure, you know what's the amazing part is? I'm sure I'm paying yeah, that's right. You only get Metallica. And you know what? I'm sure I'm paying less money for my ticket and my plane ticket than the people that are going to Metallica at Hard Rock. Because that's got to be a lot of money for that ticket, considering how limited it is. So I will be in Atlanta. We're in the pit, by the way, in Atlanta. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm a big Greta Van Fleet fan, as a lot of you know. And I love Cage the Elephant. So I said, do I go to the Metallica concert here? It's going to be really expensive. Or do I, go over to Atlanta, pay less, and get a better concert? Boom. So I am going to do that instead, my friend. Let's see. Big O, what's your favorite Metallica album? Ride the Lightning, sir. I'm a Ride the Lightning guy. Let's see. Tombstone mine is Ride the Lightning. Rich V, you and I are the same. Can we get a bag of cheap Halloween candy in trade for Flores and coaching staff? Yeah, I don't think you can get a 6-pack of Schaefer beer right now for Flo and his staff. Big O, will better coaches be willing to come to Miami if Watson ends up here? I don't know, my friend. I would imagine that you could, try to find one. You should be able to, but we have problems with that, right? Seems like we can't solve the problem at the top. So is Cage the Elephant opening up here? Is that what you're saying? Because Rafael Mendez is putting Cage the Elephant. At least you get one of the two. That's not bad. I love Cage the Elephant. But I'm pretty sure you're not getting Greta. Because if it was Greta, I probably would have gone here. Because obviously, I will do anything. International Black Man is in the house. Yeah, there he is. International Black Man and myself, we went to the final Rush concert in the state of Florida. It was over at because he lives in Tampa, so he's been a supporter of the show for a long, long time, and he met me for a beer over there in Tampa, and we hung out a little while before we went in for the final Rush concert, man. And we lost Neil Peart, which the day we lost Neil Peart. Now I don't know about you, International Black Man. I don't know if you thought about it, IBM, but I know I did, dude. When Neil passed away, right? I thought of you. I thought of the concert because obviously I can't think of that concert without you, IBM. But it was one of those where I thought of that concert. I go, man, I am so grateful that I went up, because that weekend I went with the family up to Orlando for Disney for the weekend, and that was the plan. And my wife knew that hey, I would hang out during the day, and then I would take off, get in the car, and go over to Tampa, do the concert, and then drive back and stay, and then go. I believe Sunday we still went to the park and all that, and then go home. And so my wife is obviously the coolest and lets me do these kind of things. So I went and saw that concert. It reminds me a lot of when I went to go see Tom Petty. And we were up in New York for a week, and we went to see several concerts. One of them was Tom Petty in Queens at the Rolling Hills, where the tennis center is. And Peter Wolf of Jay Giles was opening up. And it was a great concert, great show. Although Peter Wolf didn't do a lot of Jay Giles songs, he did like one or two really old ones, not like any of their hits. It was kind of their earlier stuff, which was more jazzy and kind of funk and stuff like that. If anybody knows, early Jay Giles is a little different than the Jay Giles that everybody kind of knows is a little different than the Jay Giles the way they started. You know what I mean? And Tom Petty passed away 2 months right after that concert. And I was so grateful that that part of my trip that I saw Petty, because I had seen him several times, but it was like that. Yeah. So yeah, that Rush concert was amazing. Devin Jordan in the house. Thank you, sir, giving us a little love on the super chat. He goes, Big O, what do you think about Tony Dungy as the Dolphins GM? I don't think Tony Dungy wants to do that, my man. I think he's fine living his life now the way he is. I think he's done with all that kind of stuff. the Bill Polians of the world, the Tony Dungy's. We're not going to get those kind of guys anymore. The Bill Cowers, all that kind of stuff. I don't even want Bill Cowher anyways at this point. He's been out of football so long. He's so out of touch. Hell no. And Dungy also, he's already at a point where he's fine doing his NBC stuff and all that. I don't think he wants the hell of running a football team anymore. I could see Tony Dungy doing a president thing, being a president of football operations. I could see him doing that maybe, where he goes and hires the GM and the coaches and all that, and then maybe he can be a mentor to everybody in that sense. Leadership, something the Dolphins don't have, that kind of stuff. So yeah, something like that. Maybe, I doubt it still that he would be president, but not GM or coach. He would never do anything like that. I'm pretty sure of that. You can tell that he's kind of put that there. You get to a point in life where you just like when Onside was done, I met with a couple of groups of people and I wanted to keep the Onside thing going, but I wanted to do it the right way, because if I wasn't able to do it the right way, because I obviously wasn't doing it the right way over there, and the 12-10 thing was a complete disaster. There was nothing there. That was a clown show with a clown leading the way. And so all that stuff that, doesn't work. So when I met with these people, they didn't meet the things that I needed, because with the experiences, I knew what I needed to succeed. If I didn't have it, I wasn't going to do it. And now that, we're a couple of months in doing this, and the way as smooth as things are going with me and Sean right now, like I have that whole Onside and doing a whole station, I'm done with that. I'll never do it anymore. Why? Do you know why? I don't need the stress anymore. Why do I have to worry about fill-ins for other shows and helping other shows get guests and a producer quitting on you and then finding another producer and another guy gets sick and another, Generation Z has a fit and the other one needs time off and this, that, oh man, you know what, dude? I don't need the headaches. It's enough to have to run one show. I have to worry about 8 or 10 shows and everybody else and the sales, and I'm done. So that ship has sailed for me now. I have no interest in doing that anymore now. Just like I've told you guys, regular radio, I would never go back to traditional radio. Why? I don't need the hassle. I don't need them either. Right? We have a bigger audience on this podcast than they do on any of their shows. So why do I need them? I don't. What I do need is I still need to find a good 1 to 2 really good local sales people. That's what I really need in a big way. But you have to have experience. If you don't have sales experience in radio and TV, no. But if you do, 855-912-1056. That's the text line, 855-912-1056. Get in contact with me or Big O Show. So, yes, I think Dungy is past his moment of being in that position. I don't think he wants to be in that position anymore. Big O, what do you think of Jason Taylor as head coach? I think he wouldn't want to do that. But you can ask him. I don't think so. I don't think Jason wants that. Plus, Jason, he's never done that at this level. You know what I mean? So that's a lot to ask. And then he's got to put together a staff too. And it's not like he's been coaching in the NFL for many years and has all kinds of contacts. So that would be a challenge for him too. You know what? Look, I know you guys bring up Jason and you bring up Marino a lot and all that. Do me a favor. Those people aren't ever going to be that. And you know what? I don't want them in a way to be that, because I know how it's going to end. And we love them for who they are and what they did for the Dolphins and the entertainment that they brought to us. I want to keep the memories good. You know what I mean? I want to keep the memories good, because it's not going to be pretty for Marino or Taylor if they do this job. And if they fail, they're going to be ridiculed and criticized, and then you'll be talking, well, yeah, Marino was a great player, but man, what a shitty GM. Oh yeah, Jason Taylor, man, what a great defensive end, but man, he was a terrible head coach. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that for those guys. I just don't. Let's see. Peyton Manning would make a good GM, has good relationships across the league. He's never done it either. That's a complete guess. And he's not the head coach. So you have to hire a head coach that then the assistant coaches want to coach with him, and that they all agree and all that. It still would be a challenge. Hey man, all you're saying that, and yet a lot of you forget Matt Millen. Well, some of you aren't even old enough. But whether it's Matt Millen or Magic Johnson or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or look at Michael Jordan, which it took him how long to have a half decent team in Charlotte? Just this whole notion. Oh, he's a great player. Oh no, for sure he'll be a great general manager. He'll be a great head coach. You know what the real story is? All those great players, 98% of them suck as head coaches and general managers. Not 10% of them, not 20, 98% of great players suck as head coaches and general managers. Most of them all fail. The Jerry Wests and the Ozzie Newsomes of the world are rare. They're few and far between. The Lenny Wilkens of the world, few and far between, dude. It's more like Pat Riley. You're a role player. You weren't ever a star, and you're a great coach. That's the normal one. All your best managers and coaches and all are the people that really never were great at it. They might have been serviceable. They might have played it. They might have had a taste of the highest level, or maybe they only played the level under the pros or whatever, but they really didn't have the kind of success like the people they're coaching or managing. So this whole love affair that some of you have with these former greats, dude, most of them suck. So why ruin their legacies? You know what I mean? Or at least not ruin, stain their legacies. Because it doesn't ruin Michael Jordan's legacy. He's still the greatest. Now, would you want him running your basketball team? No. No. I don't want Michael Jordan running my basketball team. And that's what I don't want. You see what I'm saying? Chris L says, wow, Flo and Greer not going anywhere. Well, Barry kind of wrote that last couple of weeks ago. I didn't expect them really to go anywhere. But what do you know, it is what it is. Larry Bird did it as Pacers GM. He was all right. Did a good job. And he also did he had to walk away because he was doing a terrible job because he kept drafting people that got arrested. I don't know if you remember that, but if you want to have short-term memory, go ahead. But he had to walk away. But he didn't win a championship. Okay? So, didn't win a championship as a coach, didn't win a championship as a GM. Let's see. Gesicki getting frustrated with the people are as frequently as he did on Sunday reflects on the offensive coaches. Of course. If Flores stays, Greer has to go. Someone has to be the fall guy. And if Flores stays, they got to get a guy that can be the head coach of the offense. It's not it's Flo. They gave him the power. Big O favorite Halloween costume you saw on Sunday. Anything better than what we saw Sunday? The Dolphins are the OB squad or 08 squad. What the hell is that? 08 squad. Okay. Let's see what else. We are going to do the Sean Watson today, or you mean Deshaun Watson? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do it. I personally don't think that the trade happens. I've never thought that the trade was going to happen. I just can't imagine that anybody would be that stupid. I mean, let me reiterate. I can't believe any team would be so effing stupid to make a trade for a guy that has 22 civil lawsuits and 10 criminal investigations. Okay? That's it. So I've never thought that they would make the move. And if they do, then they're even dumber than what I thought they were. That's the only way I can label a Deshaun Watson trade. So effing stupid. Okay? Let me put it this way. It's so effing stupid, you deserve to fail. How about that? Let's see. Big O, I don't think the trade for Watson doesn't happen. Are sellers this year? Well, what are they going to do? Be buyers this year? Why should you be buyers? There's nothing to salvage right now. You got to sell, and you only have a couple of pieces to sell. That's all. Big O, I honestly think that the Texans used John McClain for leverage. Devin, don't be shocked if John McClain allowed himself to be used for leverage, because they would then feed him the real stories down the line. You massage my back, I'll massage yours. That happens a lot in the media, man. You do a favor for them, you throw something out. It's not that you're throwing a bad report. You're just throwing out kind of a rumor for them. So you're trying to instigate stuff and get it going. And you do them the favor, and then they reward you by giving you the next couple of stories that come in, and they'll give you the first shot at them, and you're going to see John McClain break several Houston Texans stories coming up, because that's what I believe happened. Just like what you saw with Schefter sending Allen, the Redskins executive, the Washington executive, the article, because he gave him all the information. And then he says, hey, go over it, Mr. Editor. If there's something there you think I need to change, tell me. And why is he doing that? Because obviously that guy's given Schefter a bunch of stories. And so Schefter trusts him. That's normal in this business. People were freaking out about that, and it's like, what, you're shocked that that's how it goes? Give me a break, dude. Woj has the same agency that a lot of the NBA players have, and a lot of coaches and front office executives have. So when things go through that agency, it flows to Woj. Come on, man. Just, things are, rigged the way they are. That's how this business rolls, man. Trust me. Being the Dolphins' O-line is not as bad as you saying. Tua has time to throw, but is not going deep. He doesn't have time, T-Bone. Dude, what is wrong with you? Okay, T-Bone. Did you watch this play again? Let me play it for you, because obviously, T-Bone, it seems like, my brother, are you a little slow or something? Are you all right? And I have to be, this way with you, because when you're actually like not very smart and you're saying stupid ass things, I don't really have a lot of tolerance for that. So this is a screen. Okay?
I'll just leave this for you Dolphin fans out there. It's third and 20. Part of the reason why it's third and 20 is the offensive line has a block to protect Tua. So they're just trying to run a screen there on third and 20.
Screen.
All right? Going to run a screen away.
A screen.
That's all it is.
3 steps. Look at where the defender is, T-Bone. The guy talking is named Brian Baldinger. He played in the NFL. He played on the line. How's he going to throw deep if he can't throw for 3 yards, you idiot? This is what it gets to. You piss me off. I don't tolerate stupidity and ignorance. What? Some of you don't see it? Do you see 91 barreling down on his ass? God bless, man. Man. It's just the same stupidity. You know why, T-Bone? Because you hear another stupid mofo say it, then you repeat it. His pocket crumbles every time. The Gesicki play that was deep, 40 yards, his deepest yet, was on a broken play that he had to scramble out of the pocket. That's what bought him time. You know, wow, dude. I mean, seriously, bro. The level of ignorance that's out there, it's freaking amazing to me, dude. Holy crap, man. Tua will go somewhere else and have an impact just like Tannehill has in Tennessee. All right, let's see what he does over the next couple of weeks, my man. Then maybe, you know what? Then it'll convince me that he's actually impactful and not riding the coattails of Derrick Henry. Damn. It started off good. Tua will go somewhere else and have an impact. Then he put just like Tannehill. I mean, just, you know. Who's that guy? Kevin G, bro. Drugs. Say no. I'm telling you. Say no. It's really important you stay out of drugs. It looks already like you have you're not where T-Bone is at, where he has no, brain cells left, but you're getting there. Oh, some people are so blinded that their stupidity gets the best of them. Yep, no, I'm with you there. 305 Miami Sports says, Big O, do you think the Dolphins will make any attempt to fill the holes on the team with trade deadline approaching? I hope not, because that's just desperation moves to save nothing. You need to play all the guys you have now and find out what you have. Problems, you know what? I say that, and that's contradicting everything I'm telling you guys. We're not going to find out anything because we have a shitty coaching staff that doesn't know how to put players in a position to succeed. So you can't really figure out if a guy can play or not because he's in a terrible environment. So, you know what? No. You don't make any trades for anybody at this point in time unless you're trying to get rid of some salary that you don't need down the line like X and Byron Jones. I would tell you Jerome Baker, but you just signed him. At this point, nobody's going to give you anything for Jerome Baker. It'd be so low of a pick that it's not worth it. What you need is maybe a real defensive coordinator that could know how to use him. That would actually help out because Josh Boyer couldn't defend a Girl Scout soccer team. Let's see, what else do we have? With no Derek, we're about to see the real Tannehill, and I'm really interested on how A.J. Brown does without the baddest running back in the game. Jean-Paul says, Big O, truthfully, do you think Tua is gone in the offseason and don't think with your heart? No, have you been watching and listening to the show? I've been telling you Tua's gone. He's done. He's done. At the end of the year, when the season ends, the next day in the morning, Lee Steinberg will be calling Chris Greer and tell him, hey, get my guy out of there. We don't want to be in this clown show anymore. You guys don't know how to coach. You're going to ruin the player. And you want somebody else anyways. This is not the environment for Tua. We want him out of here. If I'm Lee Steinberg, see, Tua is such a decent human being that he's not going to do what he's supposed to do at the end of the year. tell everybody to go F themselves at the Miami Dolphins and say, I want the hell out of here. Tua had a much better coaching staff at Alabama, had a much better offensive line at Alabama, had a much better offensive coordinator at Alabama. He had a much better offensive line coach at Alabama. So when he comes here and he sees the crap he's playing with, he's like, what is this? And he's a guy that hasn't played an entire year yet. And yet people want him to carry crap. And that's what this team is, crap. It's just incredibly unfair to that kid. It's the same thing that we start, the whole thing like yesterday with Omar, right? He was starting down that road about, well, he could have played better against Buffalo, but he didn't. And then I told him, well, wait a minute. Have you done the homework? Because I knew that was coming. And most of you haven't done the homework. Some of you already saw this part. But you know how people say, well, we'll find out about the real Tua this week against the Bills. If he doesn't play well, then he sucks. Okay. Big Ben, 188 yards, 1 touchdown, and 0 interceptions. I guess he sucks too. Taylor Heineke, 212, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions against the Bills. I guess he sucks too. Mills, 87 yards, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I guess he sucks. Mahomes, only 272 with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. I guess that guy, Pat Mahomes, also sucks. Tannehill, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, 216 yards. I guess he sucks also. Nobody passes on the Bills. Not even Pat Mahomes. But no, Tua's supposed to go burn them all. That's the problem here, man. That's the problem here. And you know what? They hear one idiot say, well, if he doesn't play well against the Bills, that's it. And then the other idiot repeats and the other idiot repeats it. But all those idiots don't bother to look at the entire year so far that nobody passes on the Bills. So so the guy that has no experience, no offensive coordinator, no offensive line coach, no offensive line, mediocre weapons, he's supposed to outplay everybody else. That's the problem here, man. Things aren't looked objectively. They're only looked at one way or the other, and that's it. Nothing else. There's no way it could be the other thing. And out of all fans, Miami fans, we should be used to watching players not excel here and excel somewhere else. It has happened to us many times over. Because over the last 20 years, you had a terrible coaching staff here. And players underachieved here constantly. Dan Campbell is getting more out of the defensive end that they drafted here 4 years ago than they could get here. Dan Campbell. Mr. 0-8 now, right? I believe. He turned them into a linebacker because the coaching staff here, they couldn't figure it out and has gotten more production out of a guy than they ever got here. And it's not like he's turned into a player or anything. I'm just telling you, that's the smallest of examples that I can give you. A crappy player, they got a little more out of a crappy player than these guys can. It's coaching, man. No one can succeed in this environment. In fact, if I'm Emmanuel Ogbah, I might be a little pissed that, things haven't been called in a way that can help me go get a bigger contract. Tom Olivadotti is the guy we need for defense. You are right, sir. Big O reports came on the other day that Flo and Greer are back next year. Yes, Barry Jackson reported that, yes. Nathan Schellenhammer. That's a really cool name. Philbin had some great rosters. Look back on some of those rosters and we didn't win with crap. Exactly. We didn't win crap because they're bad coaches. Meanwhile, you have offensive linemen from that era, all that went to other places and they're still playing. and they couldn't get any production from him here. They look terrible, and they go somewhere else. I'm so tired of that, man. And that's what I see right now. And that's why I think we're all criticizing these players. And I think it's unfair because I think the people that are coaching them aren't teaching them, aren't preparing them. And so then we're going to obviously be very critical of them because they're not prepared well. Who would have thought Miami would be one of the 4 bottom feeders in the NFL? Not me, dude. Not me. Daniel Grafton says crypto. Yes. Yes. Crypto's running well right now, baby. It's running well. I just checked it a little bit ago. Crypto coin is up 20. It's up 12% to 24.5 cents already at this point, man. I'm loving it. It is awesome. And how about the Nervous Network? I told you guys about Nervous yesterday, and it was in the 19 range. Now it's over 20.5 cents. So you might have already gained maybe an entire penny from yesterday to today. And obviously, I know it doesn't sound like a lot to some people, but when you invest enough, you'll see the difference. But it's already up nearly 5%. And CKB is one that I'm really kind of expecting to move a little bit more down the line. Not right now. This is kind of like an early investment, and yet it's already starting to pay off some dividends, which is pretty freaking amazing. V-Chain, I'm loving it. It's approaching 14.5 cents. So it's going up. I love it, man. Yeah, we are moving, baby. Moving and a grooving, as they say. So, yes, a little crypto. Big O, if no Tua next year, and let's say Watson, what other options do you think we have? Brother, let's wait till we get there. Do you know who's available? I don't. I don't know who's going to be available via trade, via free agency, the draft. Don't know. Let's wait. We got to have there's nothing right now. There's not enough information to make that kind of to give you a real legit answer. Okay? And we got to know that for sure Tua is gone and that Watson wasn't being, they couldn't acquire Watson or whatever. We'll find out. Time, my friends, time. You got to be patient. Pat in Asheville says it's a shame that the Dolphins can't run the hurry-up offense. Their defense is then left on the field too much because they are good at it. Dan Campbell and other assistants that left here to become head coaches. Lions suck, but he's got those guys playing. Zach Taylor, another one. Well, I mean, Dan Campbell is nothing for me, so I don't, whatever. No, but he does. But I'll give him. He's good for all that rah bullshit. But Zach Taylor's the one that's kind of impressive. I will say that. It's one thing to devour the offensive coordinator's nonsense, but who's accountable for this horrendous defense? Flo, Red Horse Adventures. Flo, my man. Rodgers and Russ Wilson in play. Well, we'll see. We'll see. They all talk a good game. But when you really got to let that guy walk, do you have the guy to take over? And if you don't, it's going to get you fired. So we'll see. Again, we don't know if they're available. If they are, then they'll be part of the conversation, and we'll find out. Let's see. Any thoughts on how high CKB could go, Big O? No thoughts, sir. But it should. Look, none of us really know how high any of these things are going to go. Okay, so I'm just going to be speculating a little bit here, and while I do that, let me do it responsibly. Let me bring up something here on CoinMarketCap while I'm talking about CKB, because I don't want to then say something. I want to make sure that I have the information Small market cap. I know some of you are going, just so you'll know, and let me explain. Small market caps are I believe everything that's under a billion. Uh, uh market caps, market cap businesses are under 10 million, and then large market caps are over 10. Okay, so this is a small one, and think about it, it's at 2 cents. So in order for it to get to 10 cents, it only has to be $5 billion, maybe a little 5.5 billion, pretty close to that, 5.4 billion or something, which still would make it a mid. You know what I'm saying? And this has so much more room to grow, I believe. So if it can go to 10 cents, then that means you're going to 5 times your money, or 4 times technically. But you know what I'm saying? So that to me, I think it can get to 10 cents down the line in a couple months. So we'll see. But I think it's one of those where you hold and it goes even farther as crypto grows, because as it grows, the need for nervous is even larger. And for those of you that weren't watching yesterday, CKB, it what it does is it connects blockchains together, but it also allows you to do business, because dApps from one blockchain may not connect to another dApp. Or for those of us that have crypto in multiple wallets, you've noticed that some wallets will not jive with other wallets. You will not be able to send crypto to one wallet to another. Not all of them. Like, I'll give you an example. You cannot send from Coinbase to Gate.io, but you can from Crow to Gate.io. Understand? So what this does is it bridges all of that. Through their network, they're able to bridge the gap for these businesses to connect, for smart contracts, for dApps, for wallets, things like that. And it is so important in crypto to be able to do that. So I think all of these companies will be using down the line the Nervous network, and they're kind of ahead of everybody else because there really isn't a lot of competition. That's why I love VeChain. Nobody is doing what VeChain is doing. You know, what XRP is doing, so is Stellar, so is Reserve Rights. There are competitions to what they're doing. You know, Ethereum has competition from Polkadot and from Solana and from Ethereum and all that kind of stuff, right? So different blockchains can compete against each other, Cardano and Ethereum. VeChain has no competition. That's the beauty of it, you know? Theta is ahead of everybody, but IOZ is kind of trying to get there. Not that they're anywhere near where Theta is, but Theta is like the YouTube of the blockchain, and IOZ wants to kind of be the streamers of the blockchain, but they're way behind Theta right now. I know I lost a lot of you, and if you don't really know what the hell I'm talking about, but I'm just saying that's kind of inoperability is a problem in crypto, and it's something that is starting to, you know, be a real concern. And so what they're doing, I think, fills a need. One of the things that I like to do in crypto is, do you fill a need? Is it something that solves real world issues? Okay, if it is, how much competition do you have? What is your market cap? And that's why I mention it to you, because, you know, a lot of you, you know, you see Shiba, and Shiba has a market cap of $37 billion already. And it hasn't even gotten to a penny. Think about it. If it was at 1 penny, in order for it to get to 2 pennies, it would have to get to over 70 billion. It's too hard. So it's not, it is still 3 digits away from becoming 1 penny. And, you know, that's why there's too many coins in circulation. So the market cap does not allow it to climb to 2, 3, 5, 7 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents. So they're going to, and they already started burning coins, but they're going to have to do a lot of burning because there's a lot of coins out there, and that's the problem. By the way, the holders continue. They wanted to get to 1 million Shiba holders by the end of the year. They are now at 875,000. So they're 125,000 holders away from the million that they wanted to get to by January 1st. Do you know what crypto you can use at FTX Arena? I don't know. Don't know. I don't even know if they use crypto. Go to their website, my man. AAA should have something there. And by the way, again, Daniel Grafton, thank you for a little love on the super chat. Appreciate it. I don't know if there was any others. If there was any others, I apologize because I didn't see any of the others. Let me see. If there's any others because they disappear. I don't know. I apologize if I missed any out there because I might have been talking. Not sure. Okay. But anyway, there you go. And remember, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show is the way to make a donation. Cash Big O Show at Cash App or Venmo. And in Venmo, it allows you to ask a question and everything. So you can put anything there if you really want to. You need to ask me something or rip me for something or whatever, whatever. I deserve plenty. It's all good. If you want to spew a little hate my way. It's all good. Thomas Jensen says, if no one gets traded today for the Dolphins, maybe I have some hope because maybe, just maybe, Ross stripped Greer from making any moves. We can dream as Dolphin fans. You can dream. But do you want the owner making the trade? By the way, honey and lemon. Although it's not warm anymore. That's the problem. I thought during training camp, the Miami Dolphins would be right where they are now. The red flags were there from the beginning. Well, Brian, you're smarter than the rest of us. Just watch the Robert Hunt miss block on the screen, and there's no way that specific play is on a coach. That is literally no one else near Hunt. Coaching can't fix stupid. Well, brother, when the mistakes are constant, it's coaching. Constant. When the mistakes don't stop, defense, offense, special teams, the kicker all of a sudden is not reliable. Like, what? Why? Guy's getting kicks blocked. He's missing. Why? So, I've watched special teams with Mike Westhoff and without Mike Westhoff. Trust me, I know what coaching is like. I know what coaching means. And they have zero for the Miami Dolphins. They have no coaches. I wouldn't keep one coach on this staff. Not one of them deserves to have this job. So I couldn't disagree with you more. If you know how to coach them up, they won't make these kind of mistakes. Let's see. What else do we have? Reported by Rap Sheet on the NFL Network, Dolphins in Texas still talking are open to a deal. Who knows? You never know. You are correct, sir. You never know, and especially with this Dolphins team, you never know. That is definitely a possibility, as they say. And we shall see. Let's see. Sources, the Texans are trading young pass rusher Charles Omeliuhu to the 49ers in exchange for a future late rounder. The former fifth rounder, who has been an intriguing trade name for weeks, has a new landing spot. Okay. So he is reporting that now too. The Rap Sheet on that trade. Okay. Oh, you know what we could do also? We can hear from Rap Sheet By the way, I know I know Ian real well. He is a really good dude, by the way, just in case. But here is Rap Sheet talking a little bit about what's going to happen. And here we go. Let's hear preview of the trade deadline.
Usually goes in the NFL, unlike some other sports, is a lot of big names, a lot of discussion, and then not a lot of deals. And the fact that so many teams are right up against the salary cap kind of makes it the sort of big trade deadline deal a little bit unlikely. But of course, we will go through it because you never know, and there's some deals that are still open and possible. Deshaun Watson going to potentially the Miami Dolphins is still, as of right now, possible. My understanding is both sides are open to a deal. They have had recent discussion. Nothing is done as of now, but certainly this is something we will be keeping an eye on until it is firm, final, and simply not happening. We do not know that right now, so we will keep watching and see whether or not the Texans trade Watson now or whether they wait for a huge bidding war in the offseason and deal him. And then, of course, his legal situation as of right now still unresolved. That's not the only big name we're watching. We'll give you a couple others. Melvin Ingram, the Steelers pass rusher, certainly drawn interest on the trade market.
Well, that was before the trade, by the way.
He is moved at some point today. That is another one to keep our eye on. Darius Slayton with the New York Giants, saw him on the field last night. He is someone who is drawing interest. We'll see if he goes. And then Fletcher Cox, maybe a little more unlikely, the big name Philadelphia Eagles defensive tackle. Do a bunch of money, but the Eagles have certainly gotten calls on him. As Mike Garafolo has reported, they're going to hold out for a high pick. So it's not something that is likely, but obviously another one they're going to watch. We'll see what ends up happening today, Kate. We'll be keeping an eye on it.
There you go. That's the Rap Sheet. I want Flo and Greer gone now. Well, you're not the only one. There's a lot of people that feel that way. The cheerleader doesn't. That's all I can tell you. Okay? I'm pretty close on the Flo one, not on the Greer one. It's like building a house with a new architect, then a new contractor, then hires new subcontractors, then expects the house to be sound. This is not a good idea. That's a great analogy, Steve. I love that, dude. That's fantastic, Steve. That was great, man. I like that. It was good. It made a lot of sense. It goes exactly with what the Dolphins have been doing for 20 years, by the way. So, yes, that was good. That was really good. I like that. I like it a lot. All right, 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the text line, of course, 855-912-1056. Let's take a break. Hour number 3 is next.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show. Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-48 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for ejdconstruction.com.
Offense to the heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Fly Pablo in the...
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Our number Tremon is on the air. Sean Stanley driving the program on a beautiful Tuesday, November 2nd. Thank you all for tuning in. And once again, thank you for helping us cross 7 million downloads. As I see the sign for 6, but we crossed 7 yesterday. So thank you very much for that. That is awesome. And we are pacing now closer to 1.7 million downloads a month now. So thank you all out there for an incredible amount of support. We are blessed. Please smash the like button. It is very important that you smash the like button. That is something that will help the show immensely, okay? Not just visiting our sponsors, but also smashing the like button and, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all those kind of things. So when there's a new SPO press conference or Jimmy Butler, you will have it. If Tua's talking, you will have it. If the coach is talking, you will have it. So make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button when you're listening to the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, please. And visit our YouTube page, man, Big O Radio Show. It has grown immensely. Not only on the audio side we're tearing ass, as they say, but also on video, it has grown immensely. We just crossed 7,300 subscribers. So we are working our way to 10,000. So help us get to those double digits, baby. Help us get to 10,000 subscribers there on YouTube. So thank you all out there. You're helping us grow. You're helping us keep this going. On behalf of Ira Winderman and Omar Kelly and Manny Navarro, Alan Poupar, Joe Shad, and more to come. We just got to take gradual steps, and we'll add more. Believe it or not, we're going to add more people. We are going to have the best sports. Well, I think we already have the best sports show in South Florida by far, and the best sports show for South Florida fans worldwide already here. But I can't do it without you guys. You know how Flo refuses to have veteran coaches really help him? He thinks he doesn't need Chan Gailey. Not me. Okay? I know I can't do it without Sean. I know I can't do it without Bill helping us. I know I can't do it with many other people like Omar and Ira and Joe Shad and Alan Poupar, Manny Navarro, and you. So we cannot do it. We can't get there. I can't do it by myself. We, the show, cannot get there without you guys. So please, smashing that like button. It just gets the algorithms going. It spreads it out to other Canes fans and Dolphin fans and Heat fans and Marlins fans and Panther fans and Inter Miami fans so they can find out about the show. Okay? So that is really, really important there. But again, thank you so much because our growth is just absolutely sick what's going on with this show. So thank you. Irving Figueroa Says, Bust Fin fans, do you have a magic crystal ball? Can you see into the future? How do you know this kid will be a journeyman? It's way too early to determine that. Tua is a young, talented QB and is growing. Ryan says, explain how you make excuses for Greer when he's 20 years of shit. We've had Greer and had hands in all of it. How do you know, Ryan? What do you know about that? I love how you guys throw that out there. And Ryan, all you do is you're the same tool following another tool. And look, man, I've explained this over and over and over and over and over again. He hasn't been picking players for 20 years. He's been picking players for the last 3 years. Even the ones before, I don't even know how much he really totally had control of all those drafts. He might have picked a lot of those players, but I don't even know if he really picked them all or if Tannenbaum did some or Gase or whatever. I don't care. He gets measured from here on out. Okay? But that's fine, dude. I've mentioned this many times, and it's in the podcast, and I've explained it over and over again. You're more than welcome, which I doubt because you're too lazy, because, you want to run your mouth, but then you probably won't work for the answer. But if you want the answer, it's there. I've already done this already many times over. You're not the first. You won't be the last. And you know what? In the end, my brother, you might be right. Chris Greer might be terrible, and it might be the wrong guy, and I might be wrong. But right now, I'm not blaming Greer for any of this mess at this moment. I'm blaming everything. Well, I do have to blame Greer for something. He did hire Flo, and he effed up there. That's probably where he effed up. And he effed up giving him way too much control, which in the end, Ryan, it could end up costing him his job. But hey, man, listen, it's sports. We all view it differently. And we'll see in the end what ends up happening. But what I do know is that Jeff Ireland went on to greener pastures and has done a good job. Rick Spielman has left and gone to greener pastures and done a good job. Dennis Hickey has left and done a better job over in Buffalo. So, personnel, if you take a step back, because you have to learn from your experiences. And at this moment, I have a hard time believing that all the players are bad. That takes a special skill to be able to pick every player that's bad. And I don't believe that. So I believe this coaching staff is terrible, is the worst coaching staff in the history of mankind. And they're the ones ruining these players. And they can't coach crap. So you might be right in a sense that Chris Greer might end up paying the ultimate price because he hired Brian Flores and he thought that was the good move. And it now looks like a terrible move. And then he screwed up by giving Flores a ton of power. So you might be right that Chris Greer ends up getting fired because he made bad decisions in that sense. But I don't believe that all these draft picks are that bad. Because when I'm watching a kicker who is reliable and now he can't kick field goals and gets kicks blocked now all the time now, he's had 2 blocked this year already. When I'm watching screw-ups on defense and offense and players like X aren't playing well or what the hell happened to your linebacker that you gave him all that money and all of a sudden he can't play and they're not using him the right way. He's not going after the linebacker. It's not just about the young players. So that's my problem. And that's why I tell you that in a couple of years, maybe I will agree with you guys that Greer was the part of the problem because I'll watch the rest of these players either succeed or if they fail in other places. But if I'm watching these players end up leaving and succeeding in other places, then I'm going to know it wasn't the front office. Oh, I'm sorry. Then I'm going to confirm it wasn't the front office. So for me, my bigger problem is the coaching right now. And then the second biggest problem was that Chris Greer screwed up in hiring Flo. That I can say. I wish that Chris took the job and took it by the balls and did whatever he wanted to do instead of catering to others. And I think that's been a problem right now. which it falls on him. It falls on him, and he may end up paying the price for it. But as for all these draft picks are terrible and all that, I don't believe that, man. I just don't believe that. Just don't believe it. I'm watching a terrible coaching staff, man. I don't think anybody. And this whole thing about, for those of you that really want Watson that badly, he's going to get killed here with that coaching staff in that line. You're going to end up trading for a guy that you're going to end up breaking in half. Makes no sense. Big O, Houston GM has promised Watson a trade before the deadline, and it will happen soon. Watson has been a good soldier and not making waves. Done deal. Okay, dude. Let's see. 10-6 is not coaching problems. Playing behind Tua is a real problem. Well, there you go. Tua will be a great QB for a team that puts the proper pieces around him. The Dolphins are too inept to do that. That is true. The kid deserves better, and the Finns need a QB with larger physical tool set. That part is ridiculous. He has enough tool sets to succeed. It's just when you don't have the coaching and you don't put it the right way around him, he's not going to succeed. You don't have the right talent. You don't have the right coaches. You're not going to get it done. Billy, how did the coaching staff not suck the past 2 seasons? You remember some guy named Chan Gailey, I think, ran the offense? You know that they scored the most points they've scored since the Marino era last year. And they changed the offensive line coach again. And it's a young guy that, who knows, maybe 10 years from now, he becomes a good offensive line coach. Right now, he's terrible. I don't know if you know about those things. I'm not sure, dude. You know? And then you get rid of Kyle Van Noy, and you get rid of Bobby McCain. You get rid of veterans that can help you out on the team. There's no experience in the coaching staff. There's very little experience on the field. There's several reasons why they're not succeeding. And Flo thought he could coach all these young guys and that his young coaches would prepare the young guys. Not very smart. Not very smart, my man. So that's why they're bad. It's part coaching, part leadership. You want to get rid of Eric Flowers, but if you're going to get rid of Eric Flowers, you got to make sure that the next guy's better than Eric Flowers. You didn't. You got rid of Karras, and yet Karras is still better than probably what you had. And not that he's a Pro Bowler, but he's still better than what you had. Those are 2 veterans on the line that would have brought you a little more balance and make less mistakes. These are the reasons why. And that's all Flo. That's not the GM that does that one. That's Flo. Flo's the one that wanted to pay X. He made more of a commitment to X than he has to Tua. I'm telling you, the one thing that I would disagree with Chris Grier is Flo has way too much power, way too much influence. And I get you got to work with your head coach, but you also got to be the boss at times and say, no, I disagree with you. And the problem is Flo comes in and says, no, I did scouting and I did coaching. I did this, I'm that. I've been at every position. I know it all. Well, guess what? Your know-it-all doesn't mean jack. You're 1-7. So your know-it-all didn't help your offensive line coach. So it's not like you became Dante Scarnecchia Jr. and you were going to help him. And you weren't going to become, Charlie Weiss or McDaniels or any of those guys to help out your offensive coordinator. Flo thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. That's what it's come off. By getting rid of all veteran players, by getting rid of veteran coaches, by elevating all these young guys, by basically telling everybody you don't know what I want to do and what we're going to do, and here's the end result. And that may be Grier's biggest mistake, was hiring a Flo and giving him that power. That I would agree with you. But I am not there yet where I'm going to say all these players are terrible. I'm not going there. Not yet, at least. Let's see. Big O, you used to rave about Flo. So? What's the big deal? Am I supposed to rave about somebody when they're playing bad or coaching bad? I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to get at. You can't change your mind? I don't know. What is it? Or do you just stay, and if you're wrong, you still go on with it? Is that what you do, dude? Not sure. I call what I see, dude. You know? We can't become the Browns and change coaches every other year. Let Flo fix this and move on. I'm not sure Flo can fix it anymore. That's the problem. I know I've seen this story before. The guy comes back. He'll come back next year. He'll be on the hot seat. He'll be scrambling. They'll be doing desperate things. And I've watched this over and over and over again. You always think you're the smartest in the chat, Big O. Well, I am usually smarter than most, yes. Yes. But I'll tell you that at least. Big O, if you blame the coach and front office, you're pretty much saying draft Tua was a mistake. No, I never said that. Did I say that? Listen, Tua, the only reason I would have never drafted Tua was for the injury history. But I've never, ever said that he can't play. But I also said that if you're going to draft him, then you have to put the wall of Montezuma in front of him. And you got to make sure that nobody can get through. Okay? You got to have a great line, and they refuse to build a great line, unfortunately. So that's the problem. Or get a great offensive line coach to improve those guys. But I never said that he is a guy that can't play. Never said that. The body, yeah, that durability has always been a real concern for me with Tua. Hey, being honest, as I've said many times over, I would have never drafted Tua or Herbert. I would have drafted a position player at that point, not either one of those guys. So what do you want me to do? Big O, do you think we can get quality coaching in Miami? Is it worth trading for one? Quality coaching? Trading? You can't trade for coaches, my man. I mean, I know you traded for Riley and Shula, but I don't think there's anything like that available. But no, I don't think you'll be trading for assistant coaches out there. You know? Once a coach has that confused, I don't know what to do look on his face, it's over. That look has been on Flo's face all season. It has. It has. And let me tell you, what's tiring about Flo? Oh, we play hard, and we're not making mistakes in practice, and we're close, and all that crap. And I always get tired of that. It's like, it just gets to a point where it's ridiculous. All right, let's take a quick break. Let's switch gears. We're going to talk a little Miami Hurricanes with Manny Navarro and our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes reports.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
Thank you very much. Yes, time to talk a little Miami Hurricanes. And guess what, man? We get to talk fun Hurricanes now. Because the last 2 weeks, I got to say, dude, it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed watching what I've seen. And I get it. They're 2 close wins, all this stuff. I look, man, I don't care. Find a way to win and find yourself a quarterback. And boy, they found themselves a quarterback in Tyler Van Dyke.
They really have. And, the kid, what I love most about him, is the fact that he's fearless.
Cojones.
And he doesn't see this as a big deal. Today in practice, I just finished leaving Miami. We asked him, how do you sort of keep your head, focused? Everybody's showing you so much love now. And he's like, all we did was win 2 games.
Right.
So from his perspective, this isn't a big deal. For him, this is just the beginning.
I mean, his moxie, we were all kind of nervous because the moxie didn't have any substance behind it a couple of weeks ago when he started talking. It's like, yo, man, your team sucks. You need to, shut the hell down, But in a way, it's kind of what Manny has said and the team has said, that it was kind of something that they needed and they kind of rallied behind it. And in a way, they had to kind of back their quarterback, which, and listen, Manny, we've been in locker rooms for years and dealing with players. When they know they have that guy, they take it to another level. It's like it's all football teams. I don't care what level it is. When they know they have a quarterback, they know they have a chance to win every game. So you're going to get every ounce of energy out of them during those 4 quarters. And that's what we've seen, that Tyler has had that kind of an impact, I believe, on them.
Yeah, and I think you hit it on the head. I think when you know that you can win a game and you've got that motivation that, hey, we can be something a lot better than we've been, and that guy's going to lead us to victories, you're just more enthusiastic. If you take the field with a quarterback that you don't have confidence in, you're going to kind of be like, well, we're probably not going to win today. And that affects everything. That confidence level affects everything. And that's what we saw last year with De'Aaron King. Everybody who sits here and says, oh, TVD should have been starting from the beginning of this year. Look, De'Aaron King did the same exact thing DVD's doing now, where he's injecting life into the football team. And that's where you have to give Manny Diaz credit. He's done it now with 2 quarterbacks, not just one, with 2. And they've done a good job recruiting those guys. And yes, Dan Enos is the one who recruited Tyler Van Dyke. But guess what? Manny Diaz hired Dan Enos because he was the quarterback whisperer at Alabama. So give him credit for that. Yes, Dan Enos didn't work out as a play caller. The offense wasn't good enough. But he recruited the quarterback, and that's what matters. You get the players in. That's number 1.
I'm with you there. And when you look at Tyler, the one thing I will say, and I'm sure Rhett's not going to say that publicly, but what you can see is you have a better passer, back in the pocket. And it's a guy that the legs are the final thing that he will try to use, but more than anything, he's going to try to beat you with his arm. I mean, 2 weeks ago when he did that little sidearm throw, I was like, okay, this kid's got it. He knows how he has a knack of finding a way to make plays. And that's one thing that I will say. I love De'Aaron King. I love what he brought to the table, but they've got a better passer right now in that offense.
And sometimes it makes a difference, right? The kind of style that you're playing. I think for this offense, you need a guy that the defense has to respect the deep ball. And it's not that De'Aaron couldn't throw the deep ball, but it's a different football that's coming out of Tyler Van Dyke's hand than it was De'Aaron in terms of the speed that's on the ball, the accuracy, all of those things. And, I think there's a better supporting cast, too, for Tyler. He's got better receivers than De'Aaron did last season. Okay, so, and you could argue that over the last 2 weeks, this has probably been Miami's best offensive line over the last 2 years, right?
Yes.
They've done a much better job protecting the quarterback. So all of that factors into Tyler's success. But overall, yes. And I think more than anything, I think, Rhett admitted it yesterday. He said, look, I didn't have the confidence to let this guy rip it against Virginia. It was his first league start. I called a conservative game plan. And there's always a feeling out process. That guy has to, the coordinator and the quarterback have to get on the same page. And credit to Rhett Lashley. He pulled the kid out of the QB room. He sat him down in his office privately and said, you and I are going to break down film because I want you to be honest with me. I want to know what you're comfortable doing, what you're not comfortable doing. And it worked, and it made all the difference in the last 2 starts for this kid.
The other thing, and of course, Manny Navarro joining us. By the way, you can follow him for those of you listening on the podcast at Manny_Navarro and catch his work there at The Athletic, doing excellent work every single day. And then watching Tyreek and James Williams and Rambo and all these guys and Knighton. That's the other thing, man. That's been the electrifying thing about this 2-game little streak here. Not just the quarterback. It's watching all these fresh faces actually make a major impact on what's going on.
There's no doubt. And I think you forgot one name. The one name I would include in there for sure is Cameron Kitchens.
Yes.
He is a super, super smart safety. And he knows that defense really, really well. We talked to him again today. Now, one thing I heard from the coaching staff earlier this year was the first 2 kids in the meeting room all year. I'm talking about since the preseason, since fall camp began, the first 2 guys in the DB room every day were James Williams and Cam Kitchens. And they were there 15 minutes early, and they were there 15 minutes late studying film. And I know that's the cliche, but the reality is when your freshmen are that hungry to learn and that hungry to get on the field, you end up seeing it. And look, you can have an athletic guy back there at the safety position, and he can do incredible things like James Williams does. But when you got somebody who's really smart and really understands defense the way Cam Kitchens does, and you hear the kid talk and you hear the kid explain what he sees, that's really impressive. You need an Ed Reed back there, right? Well, this kid is kind of like Ed Reed in my mind. He has that kind of cerebral notion. He knows what to call out, and he fit in perfectly replacing Bubba Bolden, who to that point had been their quarterback back there. And so I thought, yes, they had some breakdowns early, but once he got the hang of it, that defense was doing a good job. I mean, he snuffed out that Philly special, right?
Yeah.
That trick play that Pitt was going to run. And that's a freshman. That's a true freshman. That's a kid who was in high school last year. And he's figuring that out at the line of scrimmage just because he's smart enough to do it. So kudos to this kid. Kudos to the coaching staff for all the freshmen. Jalen Knighton's been playing phenomenally. Besides Tyler and James Williams, you got other kids that are contributing, that are young players. Chance Williams is playing. He's deflecting balls. They're getting a lot of contributions, not just Tyler Van Dyke and James Williams.
And if he can continue this and have some success, well, I was afraid that the transfer portal at the end of the year was going to include young players and, of course, some of the, veteran players that maybe want to get the hell out. But now, if you can continue what we've seen the last 2 weeks for the rest of the season, well, maybe the transfer portal is only going to have those guys that you really want to get rid of now. That's kind of what you're fighting now for the rest of the year, right?
Absolutely. And I will say this based on some conversations that I've had, that is the priority at Miami, is to make sure that the best players don't leave this program. And that's all they're pretty much concerned with.
Georgia Tech, FSU, Virginia Tech, and Duke. Those are the last 4 opponents. Should they win the next 4 games? And Vatek, by the way, is home.
Yeah, I think they're going to – I think they've got the best quarterback in all 4 of those matchups. And I think FSU's season will essentially be on the brink. FSU's got to play NC State this week. They'll have 6 losses after that. So they're going to be in desperation mode. I think that's the most dangerous game, being the rivalry game on the road. But if Miami hits them in the mouth early, they could fold, and that's a very winnable game, even with FSU, playing for its bowl life at that point.
All right, so now let me go with we talked a lot of positives. Let me unearth a negative that people may not be looking at, okay? Which kind of sucks in a way because things are going well right now. But, Rhett Lashley wasn't looking too good. And maybe he wasn't going to get those kind of offers that a lot of people are going to talk about. But all of a sudden, TVD is making him look pretty damn good. And if the next 4 games, and if you win enough to get into a bowl game and you have a great bowl performance, this success is a lot of fun, but holy crap, we might lose the offensive coordinator because of it, because he's looking good now all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a very interesting offseason. The one we're sitting here in our own bubble thinking about, well, is Manny Diaz going to survive and what's going to happen with the coaching
he'll
staff here?
survive. Yeah.
But there's so many coaches that are going to be on the move this offseason. I mean, I think there's 6 jobs that are open right now. And so you're going to have the musical chairs. And look, to be honest with you, Rhett Lashley's name was already coming up. I think if Gus Malzahn didn't take the UCF job, I think he might have been the second or third phone call after that. So, this is a guy who was already on the verge of getting a head coaching job. I agree with you. I think if Miami wins out, which very good possibility, and they get to the ACC championship game, which, oh, by the way,
it's a possibility.
Pretty good chance of that happening too if they win out. Then yes, I think without a doubt, Miami, he's gonna be an attractive option for a lot of teams. At which point, if Manny Diaz is still coach, then we'll see what happens, right? We'll see if he can get another really good hire and bring somebody else in here to run this offense and do the things that they want to do.
Manny, they could have lost all these games. They weren't firing Diaz anyways. But we got to stop with it. You and I know that they weren't going to swallow 2 years of salary. And let me tell you, by you saying that there's 6 jobs open, that's actually a terrible thing for the University of Miami, because then that means you get into a bidding war. And for a school that doesn't want to pay their coaches, to get the elite coaches, the last thing they want to do is be involved in a bidding war, because they're going to end up getting the crumbs that are left over is basically what they'll end up with.
I think that's been the narrative for the University of Miami for a long time now. And I understand where it comes from, because they've never proven to us that they're going to spend big money. But having some conversations here in the last couple of weeks with some people, I'm beginning to think that things are going to change. I'm actually going to have an article here in The Athletic soon. It's going to have some very interesting information.
All right. Well, we look forward to that. Subscribe to it, because I definitely I would love to see them actually spend some money and take it to the next level. That would be really nice, man. I got to say, I watch every game, no matter how bad it is, Dolphins or Canes or Inter Miami, whatever it is, or Marlins. But this was fun, dude, the last 2 weeks. I got to say, a lot of fun. It was I put a smile on my face. It was nice to see the quarterback play. It was nice to see playmakers, on defense. That was really nice to see. I'm just saying, I enjoyed it, man. All right, Georgia Tech. That should be. I know they passed the ball now, but that still should be a win, right?
Yeah, I think as long as they keep their quarterback contained, Sims is a good quarterback. He's a very elusive guy. He's a guy who I think is going to be a problem in the conference for the next 2 years. And so to me, it all comes down to that. How well do they stop the running quarterback? They didn't do it against Sam Howell, but they've got different guys on the field now, right? And they've got a different mentality. And so, but I think offensively, Miami should be able to score on Georgia Tech pretty good and win this game. I think the spread is 9, if I'm not mistaken. I don't trust these guys to cover the spread. They've just played close games every week.
Yeah, no, of course. You can't trust
I would take Georgia Tech with the points, but I think Miami wins.
Yeah, you can't. We've had fun, but doesn't mean you can trust the University of Miami football team yet. But it's been fun. Hey, man, when you do good, it's like people were freaking out that I was giving Manny credit on Twitter on Saturday. And it's like, why are you doing this? And I go, well, because the man deserved, give him credit. I may not be a Manny Diaz fan or a Manny Diaz believer, but dude, give him a little love, bro. At least they've played well the last 2 weeks, and they've won against 2 ranked teams, 2 teams that I thought they were going to lose to, bro.
We all did.
We thought they were going to lose those games, so they won. Give them a little. I mean, sometimes people have trouble just because you may not think Manny's the guy. Okay, that's fine. I understand that, but if they had a nice little stretch, give people a little love when they deserve it. And Manny Diaz and company deserve a little love for what they've done the last 2 weeks. Okay. And by the way, they gave me a little entertainment, man, because, I'm getting tortured on Sundays. So I was getting tortured Saturdays and Sundays. It was nice to have, a day off of torture on Saturday. So, I'll take it, bro. I'll take it. And if you tell me they're going to spend If you tell me they're going to spend, I'm going to get sexually aroused now all of a sudden. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I left you speechless.
Well, we'll see what happens, but I'll tell you this. I think, the one thing you got to give Manny Diaz credit for, and the one reason I think he still has a job, is because he has not lost his locker room, and he's brought in enough young talent, okay, that's hungry, that is willing to play hard, and they're good. Some of those guys are pretty good. They're better than the older guys.
They look like Miami players. They actually look like Miami players. They look like dogs.
Absolutely. And I think, the Michigan State loss, the Alabama loss don't look so bad anymore. And I think, even the losses to Virginia, North Carolina, it's a 1 or 2 plays away, man, from being undefeated in this conference. 4-4 is not a good record. It's not good enough at Miami, but I think they have a very good shot. They have a very good shot at running the table here and finishing with 9 or 10 wins if they can get into the ACC championship game. Because I think they could beat Wake Forest if they played Wake Forest.
Yeah, if they play the way they've played the last 2 weeks, they got a great shot at running the table. I'm with you all the way. That'll be a lot of fun, and I can't wait for that article. And we'll talk about it here on the show. Manny, thank you as always, my brother. You're a stud. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. And if you want to get a little juicy story that's coming up, subscribe to The Athletic so you can get the best coverage locally on your Miami Hurricanes, and you can also get nationally. Be good, Manny. Thank you, my brother. There you go. That's our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
All righty, we are back. And, by the way, because I got a little bit on Saturday and I want to address it now. Some of you people are just miserable human beings. Like when I'm giving Manny credit on Saturday, it's like, oh, he sucks anyways. Well, whatever, dude. But I don't want the kids to lose. You think I'm going to sit here and wish that Manny Diaz loses and that the Canes lose? What is there, a draft pick at the end that you're waiting for? I don't understand that. I'm sorry. Last time I checked, I'm a Hurricanes fan. Last time I checked, I'm a Dolphins fan. Marlins, Heat. Okay, Inter Miami. Panthers, FIU, FAU. I'm not rooting against my local teams. And I'm not going to take any pride or celebration that they suck. And I'm not going to root against Manny Diaz just because he's convinced me that he's not the guy so far through 2.5 seasons. But I'm not also going to diss the man because he had 2 good weeks. And that doesn't mean that I want him for the next 10 years or anything like that, but I'm a Canes fan. So I want him to win. I had fun on Saturday. Forgive me for enjoying the Canes win. Forgive me for giving Rhett Lashley some credit. We can rip them when they have no offense and they can't get it done. We can rip Manny Diaz when his team is clueless and making all stupid mistakes. But damn it, dude. If they get their crap together a little bit and they start playing well and they beat 2 ranked teams in back-to-back weeks, what are we supposed to sit here and rip Manny Diaz for it? And here's the other thing, that there's something wrong with some of you out there. It's almost like you're convinced he was going to get fired at the end of the year anyway and that this is going to save him. He was never going to get fired. They're not going to eat 2 years of salary. They've never proven to do that. So all that crap, don't even bother. He was going to come back if they lost these games. You got to give credit when credit is due. Okay, we can give credit to Flo for the first 2 years, but he gets no credit for what he's doing now. He deserves to get ripped. It's embarrassing what he's doing, and he brought it all on himself. And Manny Diaz deserves to get ripped when he can't find his a-hole with a funnel on the sidelines. But the last 2 weeks, his young players are playing well. His quarterback is freaking studly. That young running back is awesome. You got a safety back there that's like 7'7". I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for giving them credit when they deserve it. But I'm not going to sit here and rip people, or I'm not going to sit here and I don't know what kind of a fan you are. In fact, I may not consider you a fan if you're sitting there going, oh, I don't want the Canes to win because they might keep Manny Diaz. Then you're not a Canes fan. You're not a real fan. That's the bottom line. Because any real Canes fan, after all the misery you're going through, what do you want? 2 more games that are misery over the last 2 weeks? No, dude, I'll take some happiness. I'll take a slice of W for me. Let me have a little bit of that win pie. I'll take it, my man. Whatever happens to Manny Diaz, happens to Manny Diaz. Whether they're going to keep him or they're firing him, whatever. But I'm not going to sit here and root against, Tyler Van Dyke. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that. It's not in my DNA. And if it's in yours, then you're not a real fan of this team. You don't really care about this team. That's all I got to say about that. 855-912-1056. It's got to be the most twisted person in the world to not want to see the Canes win because you don't like Diaz and you don't think he's the guy. Okay, so, hey, man, I wanted Diaz hired like a lot of us, and he thoroughly convinced me that he's not the guy. But I'm not going to hold it against him and root against him for the last 2 weeks. That's screwed up, man. That's really screwed up. It's really twisted. If Flores can get experienced quality assistance because he's hard to work for, why would Ross bring him back? Troy, I have no idea, man. I don't think either guy is going to get fired either because Ross normally doesn't do that. He has patience. So he lets it go. Big O, when you were working AM 560, did you ever attend a Dolphins Thanksgiving game? No, those are road ones. No, I never have. No. Never have, sir. Let's see what else. I did pre and post game shows for those Thanksgiving games, if they were on one. Oh, if Greer hires Flores and allows this Watson courting public humiliation of Tua to proceed, so far his bevy of draft picks has not produced any players who make impacts as rookies or second year. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that stuff I can't argue, but I don't know if – think about that. Is it all the players? Really? All the players? That's the part I have a hard time believing. Even Christian Wilkins is fighting through it now and finally coming through, and he's played really well this year, man. Big O, should I renew my Dolphin tickets after this season? So hard to go, so hard to do away games for the Dolphins. They always get canceled. Such a letdown. Anthony, I can't answer that for you, my brother. I can't answer. I don't know what your finances are. I don't know where your passion is. That's a question you have to answer for yourself, my man. If you feel it's worth it, if you're enjoying yourself, you go do it. And if you're not at the moment and you don't feel it's worth it, then, you stay home and you watch it. But that's a decision you've got to weigh the pros and cons, my brother. And that's it. That's what you're going to have to do. But I get it. It's not an easy decision. It's a lot of money. And, watching at home is super comfortable. Or watching it at Sports Grill with some great wings is also really comfortable. Big O, heads up. Every time you play a clip on the air, it's a bad echo and it's hard to understand. Try turning off your mic. Okay? I will turn off the mic the next time. So let me see something. So if let's say I do.
Sadly, this play on 3rd and 5, right before the end of the first half, the Dolphins defense keeping them in the game at 3-3. This defines the 7-game collapse of the Dolphins right here. Gesicki in motion, 3rd and 5, trying to get points before the half. The center doesn't know that Gesicki's in motion. The ball gets kicked around. It's a blooper reel. I mean, that's just what it has become. And Micah Hyde recovers it. And almost sadly,
So now, no echo, right? No echo. Okay, there we go. We figured it out. How about that? See, I would tell you, I can't do this by ourselves. It just can't be me and Sean. What were you going to say, Sean?
Oh, the one thing that you have to remember, though, is if you do it that way, you will not be able to commentate because you pulled yourself out of
Right, of course.
of the thing, okay? Just so you remember.
So I'll have to wait till the soundbite is over before I can comment and put myself back in. Okay. So but you know what? We'll do it that way because at least it's clean sound for all of you out there. How about that? I love you guys. Thank you. I blame the coaches more than Greer. All the players selected, regardless of where they were drafted, has NFL draft grades by all experts. The fact that they can't even get on the field, it's coaching. No, and then you add the veteran players. That's what I see. That's what tells me it's coaching. If it was just rookies, then I would tell you, okay, there's something going on here. But it's all over the place. It's veterans. It's, second-year players. It's rookies. Everybody's screwing up. And then here's the other decisions. Why I think it's coaching. Let me ask you. So why wouldn't you play Matt Collins over Albert Wilson? Why is Albert Wilson still active? That's coaching. Why isn't Kirk Merritt on his spot? That's coaching. Why did they keep Jackson at left tackle for so long to move him to guard? That's coaching. All the Malcolm Brown. What was the big deal of using Malcolm Brown? What did you guys see? Because I never saw anything about Malcolm Brown that says he's better than Gaskins. That's coaching. Do you understand what I'm saying? These are the things that I'm watching. Okay? You continue to count on Preston. You continue to count on Devontae Parker, Albert Wilson. These are bad decisions. You cannot do. Justin Coleman has been, dude, he's an insult to defensive backs. And you keep playing him. That's coaching. These are the things that you have one of the better kickers in the league. All of a sudden now he's getting kicks blocked and missing field goals. What? Coaching. That's where if it was just the young players, then I could give you guys a little credence to that and I would go with you on that. But right now, as far as I'm concerned, I'm blaming Greer more for anything than just hiring Flo right now because I'm not satisfied with Flo. That's it. But, hey, man, it's sports. You're going to see it one way. I'm going to see it another. And eventually time will clear it all up. That's all. And we'll find out. And maybe it's both guys and both guys will be gone. Maybe it's only one and one is gone. I don't know. Let's see. Big O, what happened with Jason Sanders, man? If you can answer it, I don't know. Greg Garneau, Mario Cristobal is my choice for the next head coach. All right, Greg, where do you live? Fantasyland, dude? Huh, Greg? You hanging out with Mickey Mouse? You going over and just I don't know, you got pixie dust or something there? I love this. Always comes up with the UM coaches, and then you have the guy that really doesn't follow college football, that really doesn't understand college football, that really doesn't realize what Mario Cristobal is doing and where he's at, and then you come up with my selection would be Mario Cristobal because I'm dumb enough to think that Mario would be a stupid mofo and come to Miami and leave Nike money in Oregon. Oh, man. Some of you live in Fantasyland and you don't know jack squat about, you just kind of follow it half-ass and you don't really realize it. Dolphins have Josh Allen envy. They won't be satisfied until they have a QB with similar size and skills, of which there are few. Teams caught up to Miami in the 80s by drafting a better supporting cast. In the 80s, Miami didn't get a running game and a defense, dude. Don't complicate yourself that much. Okay, buddy. Shula couldn't figure out the running game, and he couldn't figure out the defense. Okay, so don't complicate things. Nobody caught up to Miami. Miami didn't catch up to anybody. There was nothing of that. It had nothing to do with any of that, David. Okay, that's you making up some storyline that has zero to do with it. Shula could not get a running game and a defense. It's over. That's it, dude. That's all. Couldn't find the special running back and never got a defense. And that's why Dan Marino doesn't have a championship. Okay? John Elway was going down the same path until they figured it out and got a defense in Terrell Davis. And he ends up with 2 titles. It's pretty simple, dude. Nobody caught up to Miami. Stop with that mental masturbation and those silly-ass stories. No defense, no running game. Pretty simple, dude. Nothing else. Radically says one of the top special teams coaches got let go by the Dolphins front office this past off season. Now the special teams are suffering. They don't want to pay him. Well, whatever, bro. I mean, this is what Flo can coach all, dude. I don't know if you know this, Radically, but he'll tell you, he has scouted. He has coached every position. He knows everything. That's why they're 1-7. He knows it all. He doesn't need anybody. He can do it all by himself. Okay, let's get that straight. Flo is all world and all knowing. All right, and those of you that don't believe that, well, then you're a fool, because Flo knows. It's what it's all about. Shib hanging strong still, right around the 70s. I like it. Who would be good coaching candidate to replace Flo? Well, when we find out at the end of the year that they did fire Flo, then we'll talk about it. But right now, I'm not talking about something that there's no need. So we'll talk if they fire Manny, which I doubt they will. If they fire Flo, which I doubt they will. I don't think either one is going to make any changes. Then we'll talk about that when we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay. And by the way, Sean, I wonder who's been talking about for a long time now that the Chiefs really aren't that good. Huh? Wondering. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of you were like a couple weeks back, you were probably telling me, the hell is he talking about? I think people are now seeing what I've been talking about and telling you that they haven't played well since mid last year or something like that. That they've been living off of their championship from 2 years ago. They got fat off that championship, and they have never been the same team again. And yesterday they had to eke out an ugly win. By the way, thank you, Giants. I did take the points, and I won. I ran out of time, and I sucked so far this year against the spread, dude. I needed that win for the spread to help me out a little bit, man. Damn. I lost the power. I couldn't even make my NFL pick. Took the Giants plus the points. Had to, man. Are you kidding me? Plus 10.5? That was like a gift from God yesterday. I saw 10.5 points. And I didn't get to talk about it because that's what I was going to tell you yesterday. Take the Giants plus 10.5. The Kansas City Chiefs suck. They're not that good, dude. Yeah, they've got their explosive weapons, all that, but they're not really a good team right now. They're a mediocre or average team. They have not put it together, man. So 20-17, KC is now 4-4. As you all know, Broncos have traded Von Miller to the Rams. And as I mentioned earlier, that might be the kind of deal that Miami needs to make where they cover some of the salary, but they're doing it to unload an X or unload Byron Jones and pick up some of this year's salary and still get some picks back, in return. So that's kind of something that I think could end up happening with the Miami Dolphins. I think it's a possibility, as they say. I'm feeling a surge, and I'm not talking about surge with a lemon twist. I'm talking about like an electrical surge. Like there was like 2 times like the lights kind of went iffy on me right now. So who knows? At least this time we're past hour number 3 now, Sean. So we did get the 3 hours in on the show. We got the Heat, by the way, tonight against the Mavs, and I will be making my first bet on the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sportsbook app. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. What else did I want to say? Oh, but, I was thinking about this and just a thought. What happens if Tua is gone after this season and he does get traded away somewhere, which I think it's a real possibility that he'll be somewhere else. And for his sake, I hope he gets traded to the Saints. I hope so. It'll be part 2 of us watching another guy, have success, and we're sitting there going, oh, God, we could have had him. Or no, I'm sorry. We had him. That's the difference. We could have had Anquan Bolden, but we got Eddie Moore. We could have had Drew Brees, but we got Jamar Fletcher. Well, we had Tua, but we let him go. That's the ultimate now, right? Imagine if Tua does go to New Orleans and he goes and has a nice 15-year career and all that, and Sean Payton and him have a bunch of success. And then we're going to sit there and instead of saying we could have had him, and in the Brees case twice, right? Because you could have drafted him or you could have then signed him as a free agent, but you went Culpepper, obviously. But can you imagine if you end up with Tua going to New Orleans and he has success with the Saints and we're sitting there going, oh, my God, and we still don't have a quarterback and we gave him away? Can you imagine? Because it's such a mess that maybe Deshaun Watson comes to his senses and says, yeah, let me go somewhere else. It might not be a good one. And then Tua gets traded and we got no quarterback and we're like in the same situation again. So I'm thinking for us Dolphin fans, if we have the Tua jerseys, we can actually switch them to Garo Yepremian. There you go. So the number 1 is still good, but you can put your premium back there, or you can put your name or Dolphins or something like that. I've said for many years that if you buy a Marlins jersey, it should be with Velcro in the back, because that way you can constantly switch out the names, right? I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I'm starting to think that we may have to buy Dolphins jerseys with that. By the way, I just heard the surge again. Would you like that with a little lemon twist? What else? I am done. I'm out of here. I appreciate all of you out there, as always, for tuning in. We thank Ira, and we thank Manny, as always. Sean Stanley, baby, the executive producer of this show, the man that makes it happen every day, the real talent on the show, the real talent. We just ride his coattails is what we're really doing. It's Sean's world, and we're just in it, really. That's kind of what it is. I mean, let's be honest now, right? It's really Sean Stanley's world. We are just a part of it. That's all it is. So we thank the great Sean Stanley. We will tomorrow. We will be ready to rock. Alan Poupar will join us. We'll have a couple of other guests also lined up. We will see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a good one.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good